Welcome to the EST Hangout.
This is the EST Hangout, and today's guests are...
And a happy Tuesday morning to you. Welcome to the EST Hangout live right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton Sports live on TuneIn, iHeartRadio, EdmontonSportsTalk.com, as well as for those watching on YouTube. Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola with you here. Also with us today, it's Shawn Belle and Derek Van Diest from NHL.com. Gents, thanks for coming in. You guys are looking great.
Yeah. Always a pleasure.
You guys, how's the summer's been? How's your summer been?
Well, it's been busy. This week's been busy, but you know.
What happened?
Well, I was in Prague 3 days ago. I got home. I sold my house. I'm packing my house. Went to both Metallica shows.
Did you go to both?
Yes. And
How were they?
They were
Yes.
both awesome.
Can you hear us right now?
Yeah. It was fun. It was fun.
Were you the one yelling at Joaquin because you wanted another Coors Light?
I yell out. No, I was just telling Belzy they cut off beer sales as soon as the show started.
Yeah,
So it was like a
had,
song.
Did people know that?
run-up to it.
Well, no, because I think a lot of people went, once the show started, a lot of people went to try and grab a beer,
Yeah.
and they were like, "No, we're done selling." But mind you, they got on stage around 9, so I don't know how that works with an Elks game, because they usually cut them off
At the end of third quarter
Yeah,
for-
so that's
for
around
liquor
9
sales,
o'clock,
right?
So I don't know, but it was fun. It was a fun concert. I'm not a huge metal guy. I love Metallica, so I didn't know much about the bands before that. Pantera was good on the Friday. They were so good.
Elsie was there.
I was there.
Yeah, were you there?
And Pantera, man, I was aggressive.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I wasn't mentally prepared for that.
No.
No.
Do you know Pantera songs going in? Like, did you know anything? Oh, okay.
I'm not
they're-
a metal guy.
They're pretty hard. So
But man, I found out in a hurry.
yeah.
That was intensity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
good.
it was
I got
good.
a couple good videos. They got one guy that was like, he was rocking out, and there was not a thing in the world that could have changed it. He was going.
Did it smell skunky at Commonwealth?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was very skunky.
It was very skunky. I mean, there was, lots of people going nuts. It was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
it was good. It was a good show.
Yeah.
I believe it. The stage setup looked really
Oh,
cool.
the stage was set unbelievable, and they had
Yeah.
two different sets, right? So one night they played a bunch of songs, and then the next night they played a bunch of different songs. So
Yeah, they didn't play the same song twice.
No.
That was that's a big part of this tour.
yeah,
The catalog's
yeah,
that big.
Yeah, it's a huge catalog. So then, like, if you have a favorite song, you're hoping they played it that night, but then it's not. And they ended with "Enter the Sandman," so you knew they were going to enter and end the show with that song. So
That's probably the only one I really wanted to see.
the "Enter the Sandman."
And I didn't get to, but whatever.
So you went Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Which show was better, Friday or Sunday?
I think Sunday was, because I think Sunday they had a few more recognizable songs, like more of their kind of big hits. And to me, "The Unforgiven" is my favorite Metallica song, so they played it on Sunday. So
Not the Unforgiven 2?
no, they're just "The Unforgiven."
Okay. Just curious.
So no, it was a good show. Like I said, got lucky about tickets on the day of the show on Friday, and then I had a friend. Wasn't able to go to on Sunday, so she gave me her tickets, and so we were able to go on Sunday. So it's a good show. But then, I was
Cool.
in Prague a couple days before that, and then moving sucks.
Yeah.
The way,
I did
like
it last
packing and
summer. It
moving and all that
sucked
stuff.
big time.
And I just realized that you get half the stuff, you can just throw this away, and stuff you don't.
That's one of the good parts of moving is you get to declutter.
Yeah.
You realize I don't need to take this to the new place.
Yeah,
I
Time
took
to
it
go.
all and then decluttered.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah,
I need it all.
Yeah.
He took that black chair, his black
My leather
chair.
couch, the Italian leather
Couch
sofa that
did.
you broke.
Yeah, how did you ultimately get rid of that? You just put it on like for free or something, right?
Yeah, I had it up. It was, I actually saw my old roommate Kunal in Calgary. He lives down there with his wife, and he's a lawyer, so he has
Did
a
you
case.
smack him for lying to you?
No, he didn't
should've.
lie to me. He has a penchant for expensive things, and I remember when I moved back to Edmonton, he's like, "I want to move downtown, so let's get a place together." I'm like, okay, cool. And he bought these black Italian leather couches. He's like, they're $7,000. Do you want to go halfsies? I'm like, no. We can get a way better set than that for less than. So he's like, I talked them down. We got a better deal. I don't think we did. And anyway, he moved to Calgary, got married, and all that stuff. And I ended up with the couches and the coffee table, which I need to replace.
Have you seen this couch?
I've seen it.
The Italian leather.
It's not $7,000.
I have the love seat.
Yeah, but he talked
still
it
in
down.
my office.
He didn't talk it down.
Anyway, so one of the legs was wonky, and Belsey put the final nail in that coffin.
So I go over to this guy's place.
Pagnata's over. I think you were over.
there too.
Were you there?
Was I there too?
Yeah.
And so he knows this thing's wonky. He watches me
Gator was there.
sit on it. And then all of a sudden it goes and he just starts laughing at me. And I'm like, I felt so bad. And you're like, oh, it was a wonky thing anyway. And I'm like, why do you have this? Let me throw this thing off the balcony.
You wanted to throw it off my balcony. Anyway, I had it on Kijiji for a while at Facebook Market. I had it up for like $250. I'm like, just get this piece of crap out of here. Then finally I put it for $0, and a lady picked it up and she's like, what's wrong with it? I'm like, that leg's toast. All you gotta do is get new legs. She's like, oh, okay. Look, can you help me load it? I'm like, yeah, happily. And she took it. So it's her problem now.
She got a $7,000 coach for free.
Italian leather. I have the love seat though still. It's in my office.
Was it was $7,000 for both?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's probably like $4,000.
Yeah, so like,
The chair's got to be worth it.
It was nice. Like, it was super nice. Just the legs were poorly constructed and engineered. My poor Nono would have a conniption if he was still alive and saw that. He'd be like, this is from the old country? Yeah. Let me fix that.
Couches are expensive because when I had my flood at my place, they destroyed my couch, and then so we're looking for new couches. I'm like, they're pretty pricey. Like,
Yeah.
and they're not cheap anymore. So if you get a good one, you hold on to it, I guess.
Yeah, totally. But yeah,
15 years.
yeah. Apparently I wrecked it. I
Destroyed it.
think it was wrecked long
It
before
was
I
wrecked,
got
yeah.
there.
It was.
Yeah.
It really was.
You did a favor.
I did.
You did him a
Yeah.
favor.
And I was trying to do
You
another
should get a
favor.
reward, really.
I should actually.
That's what actually should happen here. You should get some sort of reward.
Completely agree. And I was willing to move it out for you.
Yeah, by
I
throwing
could
it
have handled,
they're
both,
not
I could
off
have
the
handled
balcony.
both in one day.
Throwing it out the balcony.
I would have got it onto the other roof for sure.
of old spaghetti factory.
Yeah.
Hey, there's
Oh,
a
we got a
coach
new
on the
coach.
roof.
Hey, you look at the roofs of some people, they always have like little setups.
Exactly.
There's a place that Yagwave posted it where
saw that.
somebody like set up a like outdoor pool
Yeah.
Where?
on top of the roof.
Top of the
Downtown?
roof.
Yeah.
downtown. And then they were having a barbecue that night.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so you could have been doing someone a favor over there where they were just looking a spot to go sit and enjoy the summer
You didn't
nights.
want me to do that though.
No, I just moved in. Yeah, that's one way to meet the neighbors. So, okay, your place looks northwest. Yeah, mine's directly south. So I get to see some of the rooftops down 104th, 103rd, and 102nd Street. There's more on top, more activation on top of those rooftops of some of the buildings than I assumed. You can't tell from street level, but it's kind of neat, some of the stuff you can see.
And I don't know if it's like for everyone or if just it's for like the top units or something like that.
I'm
show you the CA
imagining the penthouses. Apparently, the penthouse in our building is super nice.
Yeah, I would imagine.
And then I found an article that whoever bought it got a Bentley with it. I don't see the Bentley in our building.
Was it the?
Was
yeah,
that-
no. There was a moment where was it for sale that way with the Bentley?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was because there's also as part of a lottery.
Yeah, it was one of the
places.
Full House lotteries, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was a lot, and I don't know if, but I think that was a separate car maybe.
There's some nice
Maybe it
cars
was
in
the
there.
Bentley.
I think you got obviously the apartment, and then you got a car, but I don't remember what it was. I remember seeing that.
I found an article because I had to look back. Like, when was this place built?
Yeah.
And there's an article.
It's 8 years now, actually.
8, so 16. I thought it was 17. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter.
8 years yesterday I moved in.
Wow. DVD's just moving into his new place.
Well, I'm just renting for now, and then I'll have a look and see what's going on. I had to get out of my building. So.
Yeah, you can't really. There's a pool, but he also was having a fire, I guess. Apparently.
Yeah, that night.
I would imagine that's not safe.
I don't think having a pretty that's not just one of those inflatable small pools.
No.
That is like a full size pool.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that's safe.
No.
I don't think that's for code with a roof.
No, I don't think so either. But I mean,
How do you fill that thing? I guess.
that's what I want.
Well, it's a maintenance area up top usually, so I would
Maybe there's
assume
some-
you need
wow.
like there's got to be some sort of water spot
Yeah,
or
I
whatever
guess so.
Didn't you have the
because
keys to the top of your old building?
I do have the keys to talk.
Remember we had beers up there one night?
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet. Kind of scary too. I hate heights.
I've learned this about Tommy.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, because I was on the 46th floor. You wouldn't come out to the balcony and have a look.
Yeah, no, not a chance.
Yeah, that's even we were staying
Yes.
on the 46th floor of the Icon for a little bit. or the Stantec Tower.
Okay, bye guys.
Okay, say hi to
Bye,
everybody.
Jasmine.
Jasmine's here.
Hi guys, you want to see my fit check?
OOTD.
I'm just joking. Have a good day. Let me know when.
Yeah, I'll message you today since you're not going to where you were gonna go.
Yeah. South Korea. Turn down South Korea.
No way.
Yeah. Alright. Well, it all started when.
Oh my, give her the mic.
Yeah, no kidding.
Bye.
There you go.
Bye, Jasmine. This has been a busy studio
South
/
Korea.
office for the last couple days.
So
It's gonna be like that. It's gonna be. I saw Reed Rick here yesterday.
Does anybody know the story to this?
To what?
Jasmine?
Yeah.
Which part?
Turned down
South
South
Korea?
Korea?
So she,
Really wanted to know about
her and her friends were going to South Korea. They were planning to go to South Korea, but she decided to go to Game 7 Oilers in Florida. So she spent a lot of money. So she's like, I could probably only do one trip. Like, it's pretty pricey. So she was letting her friends were going to go, but they kept trying to like convince her. So last week she gave me a call being like, I might go to South Korea. Would you be upset? Because I wouldn't be here for like the beginning of September. I was like, well, it's just...
And I have to
You're
do
not-
Labor Day Monday
you're not-
or Tuesday.
Well, but then she's just like, and then it fell down. She's decided not to go, and then today she told me it was like $900 for flights, but she still said no.
All right.
So,
I would have.
so now I got to figure out
I
which
paid
day
more to
she's
go to
coming
New
in.
York.
I would have been gone,
Yeah,
Maddie.
yeah.
I would have called you on the plane and said, I'm not coming.
900 to South Korea. That's a good deal.
Did you spend the money to go to Game 7?
No.
That's her problem. That's where she had the issue.
Yeah, I met some.
She
people.
spends so
There's
much.
a lot of Oilers fans at Game 7.
I know people who chartered a plane.
Well, yeah, there's some people. They
I heard yesterday was the people that run Cattails started that.
Yeah, that was Mark.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Went to WestJet, said, asked about it. WestJet's like, if you get 200 and whatever people, we'll give you the plane.
Yeah, they did.
And we'll fly you straight
They
down.
got it like that. I got invited. I'm like, I'm not going.
Yeah.
Not for that.
How much
price.
does it cost to charter a plane?
I think
It was like 200 some thousand.
Yeah,
Okay. So how much every person had to pay what then to go?
2,500.
How many seats?
It was 240 or something
Just a
like
regular
that.
plane?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
2,500 to go there and back.
Yeah.
In Florida.
Yeah.
What, 2 days?
But you also didn't. You got the direct.
Yeah, I was.
Everyone else
I was
that
on the direct.
Well, Mr. NHL media over
He
here.
came back from Prague.
Oh, man. What
Yeah,
a flight
why don't,
that
you,
was.
why don't you tell us how much you paid for that flight too?
Hey, the perks of the job. Right. So no, I felt
Poor
bad.
Jerry
because
over at
I was
Post
on
Media.
I was on a direct, and I was like, the last trip because let's see. So I flew to Florida, 1 to 2, got the charter back, charter to Florida, charter back, charter to Florida, and then I had to find my own way home through San Francisco. You know,
Oh, look at
There's a
the
lot of
struggles
fun.
of Derek
There's a lot
Van
of
Diest.
fun.
I had to find my own way back home after all these direct flights.
All the NHL
Man,
people were
I
complaining.
had to go to San Francisco.
Instead of flying.
if you're going from
All
Fort
these other
Lauderdale-
people in Edmonton media are having to do all these connecting flights and all this the entire time, but I had to do it this one time.
And then I got stuck in Vegas for an
Stuck in
extra
Vegas.
4 days.
I happen to go stay at the Bellagio.
Oh,
It's,
man, what a terrible life.
Oh, dude. No,
He didn't do Vegas.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I
Okay,
did
take
not
that
go to
back.
Vegas because no.
No, I'm not taking that.
Hey, what you did the media junket in Prague?
Prague, yes.
Why did they choose one of their North American guys? I know you work hard and everything, or you say you do.
There's
but,
two of
like,
us that went.
Right now, what was going on?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what my boss just said. Want to go to Prague? And I was like, yes. But he goes,
Please.
it'll only be for 3 days. That's fine. I said,
Yeah.
And so no, every year they have a European players media tour. So they have it some European city and try to gather as many European players. And then sports. Elliot Friedman was there. Sportsnet was there. A bunch of media.
The rights holders usually, aren't
Rights
they?
holders usually. NHL was there, so they it's kind of like a car wash. These guys go from room to room to room to room, answer the same questions 10 times.
Sure.
So we got David Pasternak at the end of the day, and you could tell he was just like, I just want to get out of here.
Should have offered
We're
him
like,
a
I'm
cigarette.
sorry, we're asking you the same questions that you've answered 10 times probably. He was actually really good for a guy because we were tired too, and we were just sitting in a room.
Yeah.
As guys would come in, and we were asking different questions, and we had to. So I think it was 10 or 11 guys eventually came through. And then you kind of gather all that stuff. You write a couple of stories. And then you have a bunch of stuff in your notebook for throughout the year if something goes on and stuff
Nice.
like that. So
That's cool.
So it's good. And then, but I was in I landed on the Tuesday.
Found the nearest pub because you sent me wonderful photos.
Oh yeah, well, there's lots of pubs. You know, the beer
I
in
was
Czech
in
Republic is so
Calgary.
good. It's so good.
Yep.
It's just like, oh my god, it's so good. So they did. I've been to Czech Republic. I've been in Prague a couple of times.
Yeah.
And so I did the Charles Bridge. I went for a walk. I went up to the castle, did the whole thing, and then ended up at a pub.
Yeah.
But I wasn't out too late that night because it was a long day the next day. But then after everything was done, same type of thing. And then on the Wednesday you had the interviews. So Wednesday night I went out for a little bit, and then Thursday morning or Thursday afternoon I had to catch a flight. So
Are the players more comfortable, like Euro players more comfortable because they're in Europe, or no? Doesn't matter.
it doesn't really matter because they're all in English, right? So it doesn't really. I think it's just more convenient for a lot of them, like to just pop over, and especially all the Czech guys, right? And the funny thing about the Czech guys is that they're still a little sour about not being in the Four Nations. And they won the World Championship, so they're like, hey, we're the best team in the world. But they did talk about winning the World Championship and how awesome it was in Prague. And after the celebration.
It looked amazing.
The week-long celebration, and it was just unbelievable. And how much the worlds mean to European players and European countries way more than it does in Canada. Like
Totally.
Canada, you're not going to have a parade for these guys, but down there they partied for a week straight after winning the World
You
Championship.
have a banquet at the Sandman Hotel for Canada
Pretty much.
Hey, we had the thing at Commonwealth.
Yeah. Huh?
for the World Championship.
No, that
No,
was
it was for an Olympic gold.
Oh,
It was
Olympics.
the Olympic
yeah, that
gold,
was
and they
different.
brought all the guys in the Commonwealth, and they partied all here for a couple of
I've
days.
always been a big believer in that certain tournaments need to be played in Europe.
Yeah.
So you get that World Championships that needs to be played in Europe because of the time frame. There's that Ivan Halinka.
Yeah.
We saw each other there. Like the crowds were awful.
Yeah.
Like that is not a tournament that should be in Canada. That's a tournament that should be in Europe because they get better turnout. There's more fanfare. People like it a lot more than what it is here. So like I feel that there's quite a few of them that should be just straight to Europe. Don't even bother coming back here.
Well, I think the Hlinka Gretzky, like one in Edmonton, we don't get much of a summer, so it's like
Well,
it's
I agree.
right off the bat, it's a tough sell to go there. But it's also maybe if it could work in Canada if it's not a major city. Go take that to a Saskatoon maybe, or go take that to a smaller Kelowna, and maybe you do get better.
Maybe you do.
Right?
Yep.
Like, but
Yep.
it's the major city. Like you're also playing in just such a massive barn. Where like when they
I
go
agree.
play in the Czech, like I've never watched a full Hlinka Gretzky game out in Czech, but they're smaller barns. It looks like so.
Yeah.
It creates it a little better atmosphere too.
Yeah.
You're trying
but
to
it's
pack an
those-
NHL place in the middle of August.
It's those games that the Germany versus Czech Republic that you walk into Rogers and there's like 6 people and all the scouts.
Yeah.
It's like those games that if you play them in Europe, there's still more people that show up for that. Right? Even the Canada games always sell out, no matter where you go. The US, half. But it's those other games that people aren't quite necessarily interested in. If it was over in Europe, they're still busy. Because now it's obviously easier to fly and you get all these different countries that are you're closer.
Yeah.
And now all of them are packed, which then makes it feel a little bit better for everybody. But you come here, it's like Austria, Germany, Czech, Finland,
Switzerland,
Sweden,
Denmark, yeah.
Denmark. Like, man, you might as well play at like Glengarry Arena because that's how many fans you'll get.
Shout out to Glengarry Arena, Pride of the North Side.
Right? Is this
And it would fit everybody from
Glengarry?
this.
It would
Yeah.
fit everybody in there.
Its seating capacity is like 75.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And you'd be happy.
Yep.
and
Good
I
hot
think
dogs at
everyone,
Glengarry.
all the scouts, I think part of that too, though, is I've covered this story before, but the number of scouts and GMs that show up for this thing is impressive. Like,
Of course.
they're all there.
Yeah.
And so maybe
It's a showcase
Yeah, it's a showcase tournament. Maybe it's
yeah.
cheaper to fly your scouts to Edmonton than it would be to Prague.
Oh, the World Juniors. I'm sure the scouts though would prefer to go to.
Oh, they all do.
Actually, although it's summer
No,
in
they
Edmonton,
prefer
so
to
it's
go to
really
Prague.
nice.
No, they still prefer to go.
Yeah.
Like summer in Edmonton, Prague. Summer in Edmonton, Prague. Like they really like.
It is beautiful
Prague
here.
is an
but
unbelievable city.
Prague is
probably one of the
ancient
best
and
in Europe.
beautiful, and
Yeah.
They could go to the Folk
Yeah.
Fest while here, which is
Hey,
world
Folk Fest
renowned.
is great.
It is one of the.
It's great.
It's one of the. It's
Is it over? Did it happen
yeah,
already?
yeah. Yeah.
And Fringe is over too.
Yeah, we're done.
I've missed
festivals.
all of this.
Festival Cities Festival's done.
I've missed
Yeah.
everything.
I did go to the Thursday night at the Folk Fest. Stood an hour and a half in a beer line, and then told, "Oh, you can only get 2 beers," and then you got to go stand an hour and a half in the beer line again.
Yeah.
That system's not working.
It's called try to sneak it in. I would assume.
We got
Folk
some
Fest
6
is
o'clock
perfectly
lagers with your
fine.
name on it.
It's perfectly fine, but you can't compare it to Czech.
No,
To a Prague summer, no chance.
they got festivals in Prague too. like really.
And there's
cool
no beer lines that are an hour and a half.
No.
So no.
How have we not figured out? Is it like beer lines and beer sales? Because Gager was talking about Metallica at the stadium and people being obnoxious and mad at the people selling, saying how you should be ashamed of yourself. It's not their decision, but how have we not figured out how to dispense and properly provide alcoholic beverages at events? Because 2 hour beer line or hour beer line at Folk Fest, and you can only get 2. And then you tell me about all these like parties and festivals you go to where people in Europe are getting equally as obliterated as they are here.
Maybe more.
And they seem to figure it out just fine.
Yeah. I don't know.
How?
Because in North America, we placate to the stupid. We do everything we can because one
have a lot
idiot
of
at one
stupid.
point did something wrong, and now it's like, oh, we gotta make sure that never happens again. Whereas in Europe, they go, you're stupid and something happens to you,
to
your
jail.
fault.
Yeah.
Go to jail, or like you get seriously injured, cool, on you.
Yeah.
We're not doing anything we're not going to put up guardrails because one person went off this cliff here or something. That's your fault for going off this cliff.
Don't go off
They
the cliff.
don't placate to the stupid or that one-off incident.
Yeah.
They don't go with. North America goes by caution. They go by be smart.
100%.
Harsh but true. I like
No,
that.
It's so true.
Because
But it's
in Europe, you get run over, it's your fault.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the
There's
road's for cars.
Yeah, the roads are
Not
for
for
cars.
pedestrians.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pedestrians do not have the right of way in Europe.
Yeah.
Unlike here, coming here, someone just walked past me in front of the road and looked at me like, hey, if you hit me, it's your fault.
We
And it
placate
is.
the
It's-
stupid.
Like
dumb.
by the law, I think it
By
is.
the
Like
law, it
even
is.
if you jaywalk or something, you get hit.
And you get hit,
It's still the car has
fault.
somewhat at fault and stuff there.
Yeah, that's like when I was in Qatar. So when I was in
World
Qatar,
Cup.
World Cup, they have, if the Qatari gets in an accident with another car, if the other person's not Qatari, regardless of if he ran the light or if he did something, it's the other person's fault. By law, it's the other person's
it.
fault.
Wow.
So it's crazy.
I
It's
would
like,
not
what?
get behind the wheel. I'd be
Yeah.
like, I need a Qatari to drive this now.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody runs a red, hits you, and it's you're Qatari. Damn, I'm in the fold now.
I'm in
I
trouble.
know there's been instances where I can't remember, it was someone in the Canadian delegation who was at his hotel and he saw an accident where, and the Qataris, they all drive the big white SUVs, right? They're all the big white SUV. Those are the
Yeah, there's a lot of disparity when it comes to money.
And I guess Qatari changed lanes. He cut off this little Toyota, ran him into the rail, and then he kept driving. The little Toyota guy got out and just ran away because he knew it was going to be his fault.
Oh, that's great.
I don't know what happened to my car.
Exactly. He said like an hour later, a tow truck came, took the car, and
Oh
was
my
gone.
goodness.
So I was like, yeah. So
hilarious.
It was an interesting place, but no, I wish I could have stayed. Had I not been moving, had I not had to move all my stuff, had I not tickets to Metallica, I would have stayed probably an extra couple of days and
Nice.
enjoyed Prague and really had enjoy Prague from inside of a pub. So
That's enjoyable.
so many great pubs there, and you discover a new one. It's like, oh, I didn't know this one was here. I didn't know this one was here.
Built in,
So I
opened
didn't-
in 1844.
That Dubliner, that
Continuously
Dubliner that I sent you a picture of, I'm like, this place is awesome.
It was.
And
the
I
pictures are
stumbled
great.
upon it looking for another Irish pub that I'd been there the night before. So,
Irish pub in Czech.
oh, they're all over.
I'd rather go to a Czech bar in Czech.
Well, I did.
I would dance too.
Yeah.
'Cause it's
Czech
all
bar in Czech.
like it's like Laddie Schmid
Like the
dancing
Czech
with
brothers.
white sneakers.
I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember the Czech Brothers, the Saturday Night Live skit.
No.
Steve Martin and who was the other Czech brother?
Yes, I because they came back and over the history they brought them back.
The Czech Brothers, Steve Martin and
That wasn't Martin Short.
no, but it was like, yeah, they're two wild and crazy guys.
Oh yeah,
The Czech Brothers.
I remember that. They sound like Laddie.
Yeah, you're too wild.
Aykroyd.
It was Dan Aykroyd. Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd.
Two wild and crazy guys.
I gotta find that after.
That's too funny. Big Mike from the Grove texting into the Paris Jewelers inbox 780-218-9999 says, my wife, a paramedic, was told by a cop that the pedestrian only has the right of way in the crosswalk. Everywhere else is free game.
Oh, let's test that theory.
Oh boy. We placate to stupid, as Matthew said.
Exactly. Exactly. So.
The official drink of the EST Hangout is 2 Hoots Hard Iced Tea, Real Brew Tea. Big taste, bold refreshment. Don't just give a hoot, give a two. This is the EST Hangout. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola, Shawn Belle, and Derek Van Diest with you here. Do we want to go to hockey or do we want to jump to football here a little bit?
Wherever you want to go, man.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to the big the headline Hangout headlines, which is brought to you by the Ranch Golf and Country Club, offering premier conditions, top-notch service, unmatched value. Check them out by booking a tee time at theranchgolf.com, the place to golf this season. Elks, they've won 3 of 4. How confident are people, even though coming off the loss, going into Labor Day? How you guys feeling about this team getting set for the... They've won 2 games in Calgary on Labor Day since 2011. Just going to throw that out there. 2021 and 2011. There's a long stretch. They struggle in Calgary on Labor Day in history. Actually, for a really long time, they had the series between Calgary for Labor Day.
Yep.
Last year, it flipped. It finally flipped. After decades of the Elks or this double E holding that, they've lost so many on Labor Day that Calgary holds that series. Can Edmonton tie it up this Monday?
I think they can. They're playing a lot better.
2
football.
hoots in here.
Yeah, they're playing a lot of better football. So, whatever the coaching change and the quarterback change that sparked them, and so they're playing a lot better. And I think
Can't get a damn field goal to save their lives,
that's
though.
the problem. I actually come out of retirement, kick some field goals out there.
I thought you were a quarterback.
Yeah, a quarterback, kicker, punter. I was like Danny White. Remember Danny White?
No,
Danny White, the old Cowboys quarterback.
you're making things up.
No,
I
for
don't.
real.
I
Danny
know.
White was the quarterback and the punter, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. Yeah,
That's wild.
yeah. Can you imagine?
I learned that about someone else. I was at the College Football Hall of Fame in Atlanta. Oh, now it's going to bother me. My dad and I were looking at all the Hall of Famers, and there was one who was a quarterback punter in college, and we're like, it was like a really good quarterback in the NFL.
Wasn't Danny White?
No, it wasn't him.
Yeah, because that's why but Danny White was my.
There's that one field goal kicker in Pittsburgh who had like half a foot. He kicked with like his stump.
Yeah, he did a stump kicking
Yeah, he
thing.
had a
yeah.
special cleat. No joke.
Well,
They're
Dave
going to have to have open
He just
trials.
passed
with
away.
Dave
the
Cutler used to
Elks.
kick that way because he used to tie his shoe and he used to
We
kick
toe
straight.
punted. Yeah.
Randall
It worked.
Cunningham was a punter.
What?
Well, and quarterback
Cunningham
at
was?
UNLV. He was,
He's a running Reb.
yeah, he went to there. He was an 83-84 college football all-team American selected as a punter.
Wow.
As a punter.
As the punter, yeah. So he was a punter in UNLV. That's what it was.
That's interesting.
No kidding.
So, but I don't know. Punting's not hard. Kicking's not hard. Like it's not hard.
Boris Beatty says different.
Huh?
Boris Beatty says all different right now.
You got
Sure.
like Paredes, White, Ward, all kicking. What are they like? A couple of them were all Castillo. They were all around like they're 95-ish. Some of them wasn't White like 100% on the season until a
Till
couple
this
weeks
weekend.
ago.
This
yeah.
past weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and then there's Boris Beatty, who apparently is getting paid handsomely to be kicking at 72% this season,
Yeah.
and has cost them wins. And listen, the offense at times has sputtered. Yes, MBT has not been particularly great, but he's been adequate. He's been able to put them in positions to win. If they got field goals, they probably would have 2 more wins right now.
Yeah, I could put it dead on 2 wins.
Yeah.
I can say this last weekend, and there was the game in Ottawa where he missed 3 field goals.
Yeah.
Those
5
are 2 specific games you could be like, yeah, that cost him. Because the game before in Ottawa where he kicked it out of bounds on the kickoff, that was going overtime. So we don't know if the Elks would have actually won that football game.
But
So I'm not going to say he absolutely cost him. If you look at the missed points in the Ottawa game and then this past weekend, that was the difference.
Yeah.
5 and 6 would have them right there in the hunt.
Right?
Yes,
They'd be
it
a point back of Sask.
Yeah.
Yeah. They would be sitting, I think, third. Like they'd be ahead of Winnipeg for sure.
Yeah.
Because they have the tiebreaker against, or they have the tiebreaker against BC.
Yeah. BC's 5 and 6, and you know, we had Marshall Ferguson on, and he was talking about them being the best team in the West. The Lions are 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Anyway,
No, they look terrible right now.
even with Rourke.
Well,
If they don't get a win this week, I think they're going back to VA.
I think you have to, though.
I agree.
Like, he comes in, you start the season with him, he's really good. You build the rapport, the receivers build the rapport, the running backs build that rapport, and then you insert Rourke into the lineup, and this is no disrespect to him, but you haven't played football for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And so you're not going to be the same guy right away coming back into that lineup, and then all of a sudden just like, boom, magically this team's going to be, the best team in the league by far because you put this guy in. Like, to me, you ruined a pretty good thing with the quarterback that you had. But
No, I think
I
you're
don't know,
absolutely
like,
right.
it just
You're absolutely right.
doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Like Rourke's, he's been on the practice squad. He hasn't been playing. Like,
Yeah.
right? Vernam's been playing. He had the team going, and bring this guy in and parachute this guy in. And what does it do for the rest of the team too? Like, this is your quarterback.
He's their leader.
He's their leader. He's their
Yeah.
quarterback.
Like, the
you're gonna
players
replace
love
him
him.
with this guy that took off for 2 years. Trying to find greener pastures. Which you don't blame a guy for that, but
No, of
you don't
course not.
insert him right back in the lineup. I think that was just
Not when you're doing that well. Now, part of it is VA's hurt.
Right.
So it was better than Jake Dolegala. But it's
Oh, we saw that firsthand.
like it's hard to now just be like VA, you can't be the starter when this other guy's 0-2.
Yeah.
And I don't know when VA is going to be ready, if it's going to be this week. But I'd almost contemplate putting him in this week if he was
I would.
healthy.
I would.
just-
if he was ready.
just
You've
got
lost
more
5
team
straight
chemistry.
to the BC
Yeah.
Lions. You've got to turn this around. Otherwise, like, look, Winnipeg's rolling. Saskatchewan's reeling. If Winnipeg takes 2 there, the chance of hosting a West final is going to slowly be being gone because Winnipeg has the season series against BC as well this year. So it's very difficult for that sense. But yeah, and North Rourke is just making poor decisions with his throws. Like to me, it's not even
that's the
rust.
rust. You
I don't
don't
even
think
it's
it's
rust. It's
rust?
just sometimes it's just a bad decision. Like
Well, also it's a different game he's coming from, right?
Well, even you watch him that first week when he was in there, he's standing in there like an NFL quarterback would. And I know that it takes time to kind of get back into the rhythm of a CFL speed. It's a little, it's super fast still too, but it's different with the, what are you, yard off the ball, the way the linemen are coming at you. And I'm watching him, he's kind of setting it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, you definitely look like you just came back from the NFL because you got to be a little bit quicker on your toes. And he's kind of like, I don't know, DVD, you were a quarterback, but like, there's a certain posture
it's NFL is the game is so fast. It's if you drop back 1 read, 2 read, 3 read, get rid of the ball. CFL, you can create more. Like if it's not there, you can create more with your feet because you have a bit more time, a bit more room, and things like that. But I think that's the difference. I mean, NFL is this is your first read, second read, third read.
Yeah.
Get rid of the ball because you're going to get killed.
I think Ricky Ray was kind of like that when he came back in 05 and then finally started to, he's like, oh yeah, I'm not running the second team offense for the New York Jets.
There's got to be different angles and ways guys are attacking too, right? Based in the CFL because of the size of the field.
Yeah.
Right? Like maybe those defensive ends are a little bit wider out, and then now they've got the gaps that you can run through as a CFL quarterback as opposed to what you would possibly have in the NFL.
Yeah.
Right? So just very different. But it's, I don't know. You look at Rourke, I watched his first game, and like you said, Matty, some of the throws he was making, you're like, that was interesting. But to me, it's one of those things where it's just, you just haven't played. And so maybe it's not rust, but it's just the decision making because you're now like it's live fire. And maybe that decision making just isn't there right now because you've been, essentially in Boca Raton for the last 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Del Boca Vista and Boca Raton with Morty Seinfeld. But I mean, he did play preseason games in the recent preseason in the NFL. But and did he have like one bad showing and one good showing, if I'm remembering correctly? Anyway,
I don't know.
It's different.
I know there's one. He wasn't the best.
Yeah,
and that's
when he
why
got in there
cut.
the first game.
I wouldn't even classify those preseason games as anything. Like those are just rugby scrums.
Pretty much.
Because it's like, even if you compare preseason to the NHL, like it's so different. It's so scrambly. You don't know what's going on in terms of anything. The playbook in the NFL is probably ultra limited because they don't want to give anything away. So I wouldn't really.
He just played in one preseason game.
Yeah, and his
this year.
numbers weren't great.
Yeah, and in the one preseason game with the Falcons, he was 3 completions on 13 attempts.
Yeah, that's the one.
13 average?
And
yards per attempt, 23 average.
League anyway, or they're playing the US, USFL now.
Yeah.
Well,
So, like,
they cut it down for 3 games this year because
It's going to be 2 eventually. Like
It's gonna be 2 because
18.
They're going to do the CFL model.
Yeah,
2
they are.
preseason, 18 regular season.
look at that.
because they don't. That's where they're going. But because starters don't want to play those games. Like we don't need a preseason. We don't need to it's just.
Every NFL reporter that I follow at the end of their respective teams, training camps and preseasons, they're like, the preseason mercifully comes to an end.
Yeah, exactly.
Preseason's over. Thank God.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like,
theirs goes like 6 weeks almost.
6 to training.
Unbelievable.
Because you get
Yeah.
to training camp and it's a little bit before you then play your first preseason game. Some teams have 5 preseason games because they have a Hall of Fame game, or they used to. And then you got through the whole grind of August, and then you finally get to
September.
the first weekend after Labor Day where the NFL's back, and it's like, oh, well, we went through 5-6 weeks of all of that.
Yeah, exactly.
I stand by. I stick with this. The NFL is going to be it's going to go from Labor Day, the weekend after Labor Day, and it's going to go to like March, and it's going to play every day of the week.
creeping up on March already.
They're going to find
getting
they're
closer.
going to find ways to build a schedule
But
so
they're
they
not
can
allowed
have
to play Friday nights.
They'll
by
start
law.
doing it.
Didn't they just come out with a schedule though for the first 3?
They played it Friday last year, Black Friday.
Yeah.
No, but I think as long as the high school football season is going, they can't play Friday. Or they can't play
says
Saturday.
that?
They'll fight it. They'll be
Can't
the
play
league.
Friday and Saturday.
I'm pretty sure
They
I
could do
saw
Saturday.
something
The
other day.
Saturday is just they don't want to compete with
No,
the
no.
NCAA.
Saturday, legally, they're not allowed to play Saturday until the college football season's over. There's like, I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere. Like,
What?
They're not allowed.
Oh, they're actually playing Friday next to it. They're
Yes,
playing first
they are.
weekend on the Friday in Brazil.
in Brazil. Okay.
Yeah, they've got a Thursday, Friday, Saturday schedule.
They're playing Saturday? College football starts Saturday.
They play Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's
it's-
like a back-to-back-to-back.
They play Saturday this next weekend.
I think so.
I'll double check that one.
It's like Jets and Green Bay, maybe.
It's
know
to the
that-
point now where if the NFL and you hear this like bizarre weirdo announcement out of left field and it's like the NFL's doing this and it's like, what? Usually it's true because they can just do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I thought that there was
Incredible
an
what they
injunction, a
built.
college football injunction that they couldn't play Saturdays because that's college. So in the States, Friday's high school, Saturday's college, and then Sunday was NFL.
Right.
Oh, it's Thursday, Friday, Sunday. That's what it is, not Saturday.
Yeah.
But you got Chiefs, Ravens on Thursday, Packers, Eagles Friday, and then the other big one that I saw, at least what they were saying was going to be a big one, was the Lions and Rams,
oh, that should be a
which
good
is
game.
the prime time.
So there is an antitrust law
Yeah.
preventing them from playing Friday, Saturday, but it doesn't prevent them from playing games.
What do you
I'm
mean,
reading
preventing them
something.
from playing games.
I could read this. I found this part on Reddit where somebody broke down like the whole thing. And they say it's not illegal for the NFL to schedule games on Friday or Saturday, even if it's scheduled opposite college or high school football. What would be legal would be any violations of antitrust law that follows a consequence of that decision. This law does not make it illegal to hold games on 2 nights per week. It makes it legal despite antitrust law to hold games on 5 nights per week. It's a small distinction, but very important one. So there's something there in the minutia. But there is something there that says they can't play Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
But there's also, I think, a way for the NFL to, because they did it Black Friday last year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
but-
is where college football plays, and they want to start creeping in on those days. The NFL,
Yeah.
they that Black Friday day, because that historically has been the day for college football on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
The NFL gets Thursday, college gets Friday. And they took the first shot at college football by like, we're going to take Friday too. and last year, I guess college football, like people, the higher ups were really upset about that because they're like, that's our day.
Yeah.
And now they're worried that the NFL is just going to come and take Saturdays.
Yeah.
And I think over time, they saw what happened in COVID. They played on a Tuesday primetime game, massive numbers. Like they've taken Christmas Day now. They're taking it from the NBA,
Yeah.
and the NBA is a powerful league.
Oh, yeah.
And they couldn't do anything about it this year. The NFL came out and said
wanted
we're
to-
going to play Christmas Day, and the NBA went, okay, like we can't fight you. You're the NFL.
They wanted to play every day of the week. I'd watch football on Tuesday. I don't care what day. I don't care.
I think they'll find a way to do a schedule where they'll.
I could care less.
We
what
don't
day.
have Sunday watching 8
How was I
games.
playing Wednesday afternoon? I'd watch it Wednesday afternoon.
They'll
And that's what people do.
One team will play Wednesday,
Yeah.
then the next week those teams will play Friday, Saturday, so then they could play the week after, and they'll
Yeah.
plan it. That's my belief that the NFL one day by like 2040, we're talking about an everyday league in the
Everyday
National
league,
Football
yeah.
League playing till March,
Why not?
18 weeks.
I love it. I'm on board.
I'm on board.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'd watch football.
I
every day.
actually really like the fact that they moved to Christmas. Because now
Really?
it's like when you're sitting there and it's like that time of the day where it's a lull.
The
you're
wait.
waiting- The wait. That's
wait.
exactly what it is. And then boom, here's football.
Here's a beer. Here's a
Amazing.
football game.
You know how much
Amazing.
trouble I got into once for watching the Cowboys play on Christmas Day? Yeah, a lot of trouble.
For watching What were we supposed to be doing? Going to church?
With his
No,
family.
I'm supposed to be with the
Hang out.
family, and it's Christmas
Man, it's the
Day.
Cowboys
I
on
know.
Christmas
Yeah,
Day.
but like,
It's America's team.
I know, but I got in trouble.
Wow, it's tough.
Anyway,
See, I like it when I like the NFL when it falls on the weekend. I like the NBA the other years. But now I'm going to be sucked into watching the NFL because I do like it better than the NBA. But I love the NBA Christmas days because they also schedule such good matchups every year.
Yep. Yeah.
But now I won't watch the NBA much. Stupid NFL. Giving us what we want.
Priorities, man.
Giving us things we want.
Give us games we want to watch.
By the way, for the Elks, for those interested in Trey Ford's status, today, meetings, film, no practice. Tomorrow's an off day. They're back on the field on Thursday. So the next indication that we'll have of Trey Ford's status, who was limited all last week, will come Thursday if we know if he's going to be ready to go for Monday, which hopefully is, because if he was in the lineup on Sunday, I think we're not talking about Boris Beatty. I think Trey Ford finds a way to get them that victory. And so he needs to get back in that lineup.
Yeah, definitely.
I think they're going to take it Labor Day. Because I was looking at just the stats, and I'm like, okay, well, they've got 313 points for, which is like second in the league. Their differential is actually pretty good.
+7.
+7.
Yeah.
You've got Calgary, who's at what? -44.
Yep.
They can't score.
But they win at home.
But they win at home, true.
They don't win on the road, but they
when
win
you
at
have
home.
a team that can put up that many points, like the Elks do, you always kind of tend towards they're going to put up those points. And if Calgary can't score, well, leans towards the Elks.
Elks, yeah. I like their chances going into Labor Day. I really do. And I also, the way they're playing, even how they played in that first half, like they were pretty damn good against Montreal in that first half. They had the Alouettes so frustrated. And I love this. This was so good. I was like, let's see how the Elks adapt to the adjustments that Montreal makes. Well, they didn't, and they get outscored 15-zip, and they lose. And one guy replied to me, "What adjustments?"
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. But anyway, I like that first half from them, and even they put themselves in a chance to win late in the game with those 2 drives, which stalled. Obviously, I don't know what the hell that play was on the first drive where they were 3rd and I think 10.
Oh, the last play, 3rd and 10, 12-yard line.
Yeah.
Throws a 5-yard ball to a guy with the defender right behind him.
Yeah, that was brilliant. And then obviously
20-yard end zone.
Yeah.
20 yards.
Yeah.
And you throw 5 yards on a 3rd and 10. That's the one thing that I don't think we've talked about enough, and just the poor decision making MBT has.
Throw that thing in the end zone. Throw it
absolutely.
up and hope for a pass.
Throw it to
Even that.
Gino or Mitchell or Jones.
Or if you're trying for the first down, the guy's got to be at like the first down marker.
Yeah.
He was 5 yards with his back turned to the end zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not even like you caught him like running a slant across the middle or something where he is going to catch it and just with his burst of speed.
It was
He's
like
not
a delay
moving
or something. Yeah.
It was. I yelled so I was at Central Casino, and I don't usually say a lot like out loud. I was setting things up. I was just looking back, and I just like everyone in the bar would have heard me go, "What the hell was that?"
I heard you were a hot tamale.
Well,
I watched the post game show. You were pissed.
Well, but that one I was just like, it's 3rd and 10. The game's on the line.
Yeah.
Like,
it doesn't make sense.
how is that ball not getting to the goal line at minimum?
Yeah. Make a play.
That one just confused me. See, I got mad at that one. But I did very well at the ponies this weekend.
That's him in a
He
nutshell.
makes some bad decisions.
He does.
You want to wonder.
Doesn't have arm strength. Underthrows his receivers. Like right
He
now,
doesn't have the arm strength. You're absolutely right about that.
He's
And that was
always
the one
throwing
thing
short.
That surprised me about. I thought this guy was a gunslinger. He doesn't have that arm.
right now, Trey Ford has a better arm than
Way better.
MBT.
He's a better quarterback.
Straight up.
Looks like he just flicks the ball and
Ford's
it's like
got a
40
better
yards
arm. He
and it's
runs.
like,
He
boom.
makes better reads, and
Yeah.
he can create something out of nothing. Like
Yeah.
he's the better quarterback, and he should have been starting from day one.
Trey Ford, we're interviewing him going into that BC game that they won. And he's like, I'm like, hey, I'm reading that you're calling yourself a pocket passer. He's like, I am, man. This is the most I've ever thrown from the pocket in any level. I was like, what? He goes, yeah, seriously. He's like, I'm not, like, everyone calls me a scrambling quarterback. I'm a pocket passer. I was like, all right. I guess so. But he does have a pretty damn good arm.
He's got a very good arm.
Yeah.
Very good arm.
Yeah.
Like, go back to his first start. Was it? Yeah, against Saskatchewan. He hit Tevin Jones in the sideline in stride as he's going down. It's a 90-yard play or whatever it was for a touchdown. He did it from the pocket too. He stepped up. MBT this year has not hit a receiver in stride.
No.
They always have to stop or come back for that ball. And it's
like that's the one thing that surprised me about him was that he doesn't have that arm strength. Like he underthrows everybody. Yeah.
Like he's good enough to get them in a position to win. I will say that.
He's good enough to get you beat. That's where I'll go with.
They don't take advantage
He
of the
lives in his
position.
comfort zone, and the fact that he knows that he doesn't have that arm strength is now he just wants to dink and dunk everywhere. So that's what, for him, it's comfortable. Like, if you look at his stats over the course of the season, like, he's not putting up huge numbers. So that just basically says, like, okay, well, this thing's here is wide open. I know I can get it there because I've got a little bit of accuracy.
Yeah.
So it's just,
that's the frustrating. He doesn't spread the field. He doesn't throw the ball down the field. So then everyone just kind of, up, because he's not going to throw over the top on you.
So defenses they cheat a little bit more, right? So,
but I think the Elks can go into Calgary and win.
So do I.
I remember when
I
I was in college, we used to go down to the Labor Day Classic, and those were fun times.
They are
We'd have
fun.
like 4 or 5 buses down to McMahon, and
We were attempting that this year.
Those are a lot of fun, like a lot of fun. And then it got to a point where Calgary said, "Okay, we're not putting the Eskimos." At the time, we're not putting them all in their own section because it got ugly.
Yeah.
And it got stupid. And it was just like,
At a dumb stadium.
and it's we rinky-dink stadium. And,
Yeah.
So.
It's a very big month, though, for the Elks, just because you look at, they played 2 teams 4 times. They get Calgary, Winnipeg.
Yeah.
They need 3 or 4 minimum. You can't go 2 and 2.
Yep.
You can't go 500 in either of those game series because you don't gain any ground. If you go sweep Calgary, if you lose 2 to Winnipeg, you're not catching them, but also you've lost a couple of those games. Like I guess that would be the only way. If you beat Calgary twice, you can maybe afford to lose the 2 to Winnipeg.
You're right there
they
if
run
you
away.
win back-to-back against Cal. You're right there.
Yeah.
You leapfrog them. You're right there. You're in the
Back
mix.
in it.
Well, let's go. Let's say Winnipeg sweeps Saskatchewan.
That'd be crazy.
You would be, if you sweep, you're a point back
Yeah.
of Saskatchewan right there. I believe the 2 teams still meet one more time this year. You'd be ahead of Calgary. And BC, I don't know if BC plays next week, and this weekend they get Ottawa. With the way they're playing, they might lose.
Right.
And just like that, you could be sitting right there,
Back in
third
the
or second in the West.
Yeah.
Third.
Crazy.
So crazy. CFL, I love it.
I love it.
Oh, this one, BC and Saskatchewan have just come down to the pack. They were running away with this, and they just can't win football games.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about the Edmonton Elks sitting in 5th place with a shot at first place in the West.
As
we're going into the Winnipeg. As we go into Labor Day.
the way this thing started.
I always said CFL doesn't start till Labor Day, so everything.
Here we
before,
go. Buckle up, big boy.
Up. Everything before is just details.
Yeah.
This is the EST Hangout. Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola, Shawn Belle, Derek Van Diest with you here on your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, Edmonton Sports Talk. This portions of this hour of the Hangout brought to you by the High Product Marketing, official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Promotional products that bring the buzz. Check them out, highproductmarketing.com. Well, we're talking with Chelsea right now. We're working on soon the new merch store for EST, but also stuff for the Nasty Club. She also sent me some mock-ups for EST socks that I want.
Sweet.
Do they look good?
Yes,
Do they look good? Oh, they're sharp. I almost want to do every version that she has, but we'll have to see. But there'll be at least some sort of EST socks coming.
I had an idea for something, but I forgot. It'll come back.
I know you had the quarter zip.
Yeah, quarter zip was good. Remember you got these for Hello Hockey?
Yep.
These are awesome, but like a quarter zip would be good.
Yeah. So that's one thing I have on the list. I just gotta wait to see what she's got. Some ideas also she's gonna throw me. So I'm working on that. I do want pint glasses.
That's a good idea.
The 6 o'clock lager logo on it, etched in it.
Yep.
Not printed on it, etched in it nicely.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to get one of those. So there's a few things that we're looking at. And then thanks to her, actually, if anyone goes to the Labor Day rematch at Commonwealth and visits the EST crew, Zach and Trev in the tailgate, we got a cornhole game now. That has our logo on it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I will not be at the rematch. I'll be in New York. I'll be at the US Open.
Okay.
Oh.
Just a little flex there.
Now, are you going to New York
one,
because, is there another NHL media like the
No, I'm
North
going to New
American,
York.
or you're
My
just
buddy
going?
lives there.
So you're just going to go to the US Open?
Yeah, it's something I always wanted to
Awesome.
do. It's
That's
like
You've never been?
No. I always wanted to do. It's funny because I was in Paris at the Paris when they had the French Open there, and I couldn't get tickets for whatever reason because they tried this new, like you couldn't just walk up and say, "Can I get a ticket for the day?" Just walk around. They were trying this new computer system.
Yeah.
It was such a nightmare. They got rid of it because it was so bad. Like they're just everything is automated. There's a computer system where you'd go in, pick your seat or whatever, all this stuff, and then it just wasn't working, and it shut down. And I was like, I only had the one day because I was covering the Women's World Cup. And then I got frustrated. I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm not going.
You're going to the
go to
U.S.
pub.
Open in 2024 instead.
Yep.
Perfect.
So
Say hi to Champa for me.
I would love to go to the
it'll
US
be
Open.
fun. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
That one seems like a great time.
Oh yeah, it's just a party. Like they're playing at 2 a.m. Like it's crazy. That's like I remember we were just watching. It's like I'd be like here at midnight watching at the pub, and like, is this live? And it's live, and everyone's there at 2 a.m. going crazy. And it's just,
There's nothing like throwing on TSN 8, 9 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
and then like in these next couple of weeks,
Yeah.
and you've got the night match
Yeah.
at Arthur Ashe.
and they're going crazy.
And they're going crazy, and they're having a great time. And then that one that does go till like 1 a.m. or whatever.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people. A lot of people filter away,
Yeah.
and you just get those few people, and the applause, and they're having a great time though. The people that are left,
Yeah.
and it's just this is
This
is beautiful.
You gotta see it. It's that you got to go. I'm going to go, so I'm going to go for a week. I'm officially on holidays this week and next week, so I'm packing and moving this week. And
You
New
work
York
for the
next week.
NHL. You're always on holidays.
I'm on holidays. Not really. I'm always on. It's one of those things like a doctor. Hey, hey, so and so got traded. Get on it. So and so got traded. Get on it.
Yeah.
Right.
well. Are you going to be ready to go when Leon signs his contract?
I hope. No, well, I hope it's soon.
We'll see.
What if it's next week?
If it's next week, then we'll. figure
He's
it out.
in Prague. Or no, he's in New York.
I'm in New York.
Well, you could go right into the offices in
Yeah,
Manhattan.
as well,
and
just go to the
write it
offices
from
right
there.
there.
You can go on
Can I borrow a
NHL Network.
desk?
That
Yeah.
Have you ever been in the NHL offices?
They've moved, so they were on Fifth Avenue when I was there. Like it was great because they have the big NHL store and the
Yeah.
NHL office, but I think they've since moved, so I haven't been in the new ones yet.
Are you going to go visit your
Oh,
bosses?
for sure, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll go in and say hi. I got to go in and say hi to the travel secretary and give her a nice gift because
What are you gonna get her?
I don't know. I'll have to figure that out.
Get her an Edmonton Elks plushie, like a Spike doll.
That is of all the things that come to your mind. That is, I love that.
An Edmonton
Well,
plushie.
yeah,
Of
like,
Spike.
what are you gonna get her? An NHL thing?
I
They
don't
have
know.
a store
I know,
downstairs.
I'll have to get her something
Oh
unique.
my god.
But
That's
yeah,
unique.
I guess
And it's from
That's
Edmonton.
very unique.
it's unique.
Yeah.
I don't think she's going to be thinking about that.
No,
know,
and
she
I
won't
think that's going
display
to go
the plushie.
instantly into the dumpster.
So yeah, exactly.
No, I think she
a
just.
plushie?
Yeah.
That's on her
Elks
desk.
plushie?
That's at
A
her
New
desk.
Yorker?
Okay,
Yes.
does she have
She's a New Yorker. That thing is going in the garbage.
or it just goes in her office and
be
she
like,
fills out
"Look
her
at my
office.
little-
Oh, okay. Yeah,
His
sure,
name
guys.
is Spike.
We'll see.
Derek
I'll-
Van
I'll-
Diest.
I'll figure it
the
out.
Chilean
I
with
got
the
her. I
Belgian
got her.
last name.
And
brought
what-
it to
and
me.
then
You
what
seen
you'll get?
Anchorman?
Yes.
When he kicks Baxter
dog.
off the bridge. Same thing happening.
No chance.
She's going to be driving home Brooklyn Bridge and then just boom.
Getting burrito in the face.
It off the bridge. Well, I'll figure it out. I got a week to figure it out, but you know.
Yeah, well, you got to
treat the
nail
chef-
this because you don't want to give a gift that is poor because then all of a sudden she's going to like think less.
Oh, you got to treat the said travel
Yes.
secretary really well. It's
right.
like quarterbacks got to treat their offensive line
Yes.
really well. Like
You take a first steak dinner.
She is. Yeah, she.
A Segway or one of those just like scooter type things.
What?
It's
Buy her a scooter?
I think you
No,
get the
I think-
Spike plushie and you're good.
I'll figure something.
I actually do think that would be funny.
It's very
Spike
unique.
plushie.
It's very Edmonton.
And if she has an office, there's lots of like
Yeah,
window
she has an
space.
office.
Okay,
It's
she has
thoughtful.
space. She could put it up somewhere.
yeah.
All right.
I think on top of whatever you're giving,
But
give that one, and you will see that Tommy was right.
the plushie.
The plushie.
She's gonna care more about
You know
the
what?
plushie
You
than
should
anything else.
definitely do that.
Absolutely. We got a text that I want to get to because it's very apropos. 780-218-9999 here on the Hangout. This one says, I think it is slipping under the radar, but Jackson has made some pretty dumb decisions. The latest was not kicking that chip shot field goal with a minute and a half left. I don't know if they thought they would get the ball back because they needed a stop from the defense, and they did get that stop and got good field
But a
field
minute and a half
position.
is an eternity in the CFL.
Yeah,
You can get the ball back 20 seconds later.
but they held Montreal like one first down and that game was over, and they held right. So I don't know. I think
Well,
I would have gone for the touchdown as well. And then there's a second part about this this text. Can we talk about the Rouge that ended the Riders game with those Rouge haters you have on? That's Bellsy and I. Okay, let's go.
let's go
I'm not a Rouge.
Before we get to that part,
Guy either?
okay, great. Is it?
Yes.
All the plushies are sold out on the Elk store right now,
See, like that would be awesome.
You should get the football.
but they both say they're sold out. Punter,
Punter.
Yeah.
$32. That's it.
That's a great deal.
Yes.
You could get discount from Hernan
bless
or
you.
Evan Dom or whatever.
I've been down at Metallica.
Of
course you
by.
did.
Yeah, he loves.
Did he
Brazil.
smile?
He said, "Hey." No, he was going this way. I was going this way. So
Yeah, I
He
think
usually goes like this to us.
does he?
He doesn't want to be seen by.
before I go to the Rouge, I will say this about that kicking. I think part of that is if you kick the field goal, Montreal is going to get they're going to get a better field position to start because you're going to kick it off to them. So they're going to be starting at the 25 or 30 or whatever. That if you get that stop and they punt away, you're now starting pretty deep. Whereas if you get that stop, which the defense did, you're starting in a better field position to try to drive down the field to win that game.
I
So
did think about hey, maybe just take the points and see if you can roll the dice and get the ball back.
I think
So I understand where that text.
They should have went for they should have, instead of kicking the field goal, should have went for the touchdown at the end of the first half when it was 3rd and 2 or 3rd and goal from the 2.
Yeah.
I think that could have been a killer instinct. That could have
thinking
been one of those
take the points,
where you
though,
put
right?
You always
but
want to try to take those points for sure, but I get where you're
I
coming
think
from.
that's one where you could put that foot on the throat and really press on it
Yep.
going to halftime.
would've made it-
As
2
for the
yards too
Rouge,
far though.
no, it shouldn't be.
Although
We've
Right-
seen
right at the end?
We've seen a lot of teams over the last probably 3 years. I want to say this is the 3rd season. I would say where they go with and twos. They go with the QB sneak and they push forward for the 2 yards. We're seeing a lot more teams do that now because they can get the 2 yards done that way.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Push. That'll get you 4.
Yeah, I get you 4.
so the Rouge.
Participation
It
trophy.
ends. It is not.
awful.
I will say this right off the bat.
awful.
Larim Hajrullah did his job. His special teams coordinator probably told him as he was going out there, coach,
Just kick it.
you have 2 jobs. Pick one.
He doesn't even
Get
have
it
to-
through the uprights.
Just kick it through the end.
Or get it, make sure at the very least it goes through the end zone and you win this football game. He did not have to go dealing with the accuracy. He did his job. He got his point. He won the football game. I have no problem with him even celebrating.
Gross.
His only thing he just couldn't do, and I would have to see it with a little more 3D. He almost hit the upright, it looked like, which would have been just disastrous.
That's the worst. outcome.
That's the Canadian Football League. We have the Rouge.
So let
the
me get this
Rouge.
straight.
The Rouge happens.
He missed his kick.
But
He
they
made
won.
his kick.
No, he didn't.
He made his
he
kick.
missed his kick.
He did his job. He did his
no.
job. His job was to go out there and get it through the end zone. He had 2 jobs, one of 2 jobs. He had to pick one.
So
Get it
it
through
was
the
a
end zone
field
or
goal
field goal.
situation.
And he went for the other option. Get it through the end
Field
zone.
goal situation.
And he just
where
didn't-
you have to try to put it through the uprights, and you missed, and then you still won.
It's the participation
It
ribbon
is.
of
That's
the.
exactly
That's what it is.
It's
You know what? We're
gross.
just going to give you a medal for trying. Just give you a medal for trying.
Yeah.
He
So
had.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
You did it.
He did his job.
There's
He
your
got the
trophy.
single
Boy.
point.
Hey,
His
You
job.
missed that kick. You deserve 1 point.
Missing a field goal and then celebrating
Yes,
a missed
he
field
won.
goal for a win is
It's for
ridiculous.
failure.
Because he.
You celebrated failure. You missed
Yeah.
the kick.
Yes.
And
But
then you won, and you're like, yeah.
As I said, the special teams court, he was told by someone at the very least, you got to make
he
sure
was
it gets
told
through the
to
end zone.
take it through
So
the end
there's
zone.
your job.
Yeah.
He did his job. He did what he needed to do.
That's a ridiculous
They didn't need to
rule.
win by
You don't
3.
get a point for trying.
Aim low and achieve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get a point for trying. That
that's one I hate.
encompasses, Matthew, that encompasses the problem with society now. Is that
This has
Yeah,
been going on
get
since
on
the
it.
early 2000s,
Kids
since
go
the
in there,
1900s.
get
kids go in
soapbox.
there and they don't have to win anything, and they still
Yeah, do you
get
know
a
whose
trophy.
problem that is? Whose fault that is?
That's our fault. Our
Yeah,
generation's
it's
fault.
damn right. It's the higher-
CFLs because they
No.
built this thing into
But
society.
it's our
The
generation's
CFL
fault.
led. The CFL, I mean, the Rouge led to participation
Yeah.
trophies 100 years
100%.
later.
Yeah.
I can't respect
Just
that
Brilliant.
argument.
disgusting.
That's the brilliant. That was brilliant.
Every
slow
kid has to
burn.
get a trophy. We're not gonna,
Well,
we
it's-
can't play dodgeball
Can't
anymore.
cut them from teams.
Can't
You have
cut
to
them from
ID camp
teams.
them.
Yep.
Can't
It's-
fit. Like it's
It's
ridiculous.
to incentivize returning it out the ball out when it's missed because
It's-
the field goals aren't
to
at the back of it; they're at the front line like the
missing
NFL.
and still winning a game
Yeah.
because you can't hit a kick.
It's
disgusting.
I got 3 against 1 today.
Because common sense is prevailing.
No, because if we still let's put the poll. I'm putting it up
Oh,
on.
put the poll.
Oh, I can't do it on
Get
here.
rid of the Rouge. You know, the ball goes
Can't.
to the end zone. You get it at the 25. It's problem solved.
It's to
Man.
incentivize people though to return it from the end zone, and not
Great.
to, and so that's and I think more often than not we do get that. We do get teams returning it from the end zone because the field goal posts are at the front as opposed to the back. This is one of those cases where it works out, and in the end, the Rouge happens throughout all games, and the Rouge impacts all games.
So
the Rouge,
stupid.
you get a Rouge at other points in game. Like, hey, look,
stupid.
Boris Beatty. Not only did he miss the field goal, he didn't get the Rouge last game, where it would have been a 3-point ball game instead of a 4-point ball game. So they could have
gotten the Rouge if it was if we had that rule figured out properly.
But so if he got the rouge,
Solidarity.
Yeah.
then all they would have needed to do is they could have kicked the field goal. We could have been tied. We could have seen the Elks go against Montreal in the overtime. He couldn't even get the rouge because he didn't do a job.
That would taint the
the
win.
rouge, when someone sees the rouge, she's like, you get a point for failing.
Yes.
You get
Yes,
a point
that's
for
exactly
missing.
what it is.
That's what
Ridiculous.
it is.
Yeah.
It's
There's
a point for missing.
Two things I want to see in the CFL. Get rid of the stupid rouge and then reduce the end zone by 5 yards. That's it. Leave it
There's one
otherwise.
more for me.
What?
It's that ridiculous 1 yard punt.
I love that one.
Oh, the refresh
Kills
setting
me.
the downs. Yeah,
Well, we haven't
it's
seen it
real.
this year.
Yes, we have. It happened once this
Yeah,
year.
Montreal did it.
Yeah.
Earlier.
Again? I
Yes.
thought it was,
Oh yeah.
They did it this
Yeah,
year.
that's a simple fix though. The ball's got to go over get it. Like if you kick the ball, you got to get it to where past.
Okay, but you,
It's like
you
an
also...
onside kick.
yeah,
It
yeah.
should be 10 yards.
I also want to say, you don't get a point for missing a kick. The other team loses a point, gives up a point because they didn't return it or didn't get it out of the end zone.
But if it kicks into the stands, you don't have that option.
That's okay, but that's part of how you deal with this. So, like, it's when the ball gets kicked, if, like, Boris Beatty's, he missed the kick. He didn't get a rouge. So you don't get a rouge.
It's a kick.
But you don't get a point for a missed field goal. You get they didn't get the point because Montreal took it out. You give up the point because it doesn't get returned. So you guys are looking at the wrong way in that.
For hitting the post in hockey,
You don't get a
almost
point
did
for-
it, buddy. Good job. No, that doesn't work.
That'd
It
be
goes
fun.
bar down. You don't get half a point. You missed your shot. You failed. You don't get nothing.
But that's not what the point is awarded for.
It is.
It's
It
not.
100% is.
It's the fact the team
you
didn't
tried
get it
to
out of the
kick
end zone.
Ball through the upright.
Okay, let's say
But
this.
that's how we're
it.
because
Okay, hold
again,
on.
it's not every miss gets the point
Let's
or
say
gets
this
that.
then.
It's that
You
team didn't
don't get
return
the
it.
point if it goes through the end zone. You only get the point if a team refuses to return it. How about
And there's
that
been a
rule?
lot of
I'd
people.
much rather have
There's a lot of people saying that and throwing that one out there this weekend,
Yeah.
and that if it goes through the end zone, the dead ball spot,
don't get the
you
point.
can't get a point. And I could live with that.
If
I
a
thought
team
would be
has a
better.
chance to return the ball out of the end zone and they refuse to, then you get the point.
Truthfully, I could even go as far as if they did ultimately give it where on a field goal attempt, even if you don't return it out, you don't give it up.
Doesn't
Like I
count.
could live on punts or kickoffs, I could live with it.
Yeah.
But the other way. But here's the situation here. If we go to that, Toronto's going to punt that ball instead of kick a field goal at the end of that game.
Well, they'll punt it through the end zone and then get the 1 point.
Which is even
That's
more
what-
embarrassing.
So that's the one thing. So the point doesn't come from the missed field goal.
Maybe
the point
just
doesn't
get
come
rid
from.
of it. Rouge.
It's
How about
not
just get rid of it?
The
How about
mentality.
Get rid of it.
It's not a missed field goal that gets up the rouge. It's the fact that the team doesn't return it.
Stop
just get-
placating to stupid.
Yeah.
This has been around longer than that.
Yes.
Yeah.
This isn't placating stupid. It's been
Oh,
around for
yes,
100 some
yes,
years.
yes.
More people
How
are
about
with me
that's
on
like-
this. I
Yeah,
stand
we've
by
been
that.
placating-
Avery's with
There's
you
a
on this.
winner
Avery
and
is
a loser.
Lori's with me.
Oh.
I think VR Montenegro would with me. I know Tube Socks was with me. George is with me. Watch the NFL if you want those rules.
So these three guys are insane. Rouge for life.
See?
I love it. It's such a stupid rule.
so
It's
dumb.
not.
Get rid of it,
It's so
Randy.
dumb.
Please.
Very Canadian.
No.
Please,
Very
common
good.
sense.
Yeah.
No, this is the rouge to stay.
Roots. Who cares?
I could live with maybe getting if it goes through the end zone, it's not a point.
No.
Because the team doesn't have the chance to return it.
Yeah.
I can live with that because then that goes to the essence of the rule, which is again, it's not the missed field goal that gets the point award. It's the team doesn't return it, doesn't get it out of the end zone.
I could live with that, but I can't sit here and like when this guy misses a kick.
Made the kick.
And, oh my god, he missed it.
You missed it.
He missed it.
He made one of he made one of his kicks. He had two opportunities to win that football game. He made one of them. They won the football game. They celebrated. If the Edmonton Elks won a Grey Cup
missed
that
the
way,
primary
we would all be
objective.
thrilled by it.
Celebrating
Missed the primary
a miss.
objective.
Yes, that's funny. Half the crowd didn't even know the team had won.
Yeah.
That's
They're like,
the
why
other
are they
problem.
celebrating? They missed it.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, they got a rouge.
Yeah,
we
boy.
won. Oh, yeah, it was
Oh,
great.
great.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, what a
Great.
win.
Yeah.
Great. I was so proud to kick
Yeah,
that
yeah.
1 point through the end zone.
So, I just
It's awful.
that rouge has always bothered me. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Speaking of kickoffs,
The NFL rules?
NFL?
The
What do you
XFL
think-
rule.
what do
I'm
you think
standing.
of it?
I'm going to defend the
It is the
XFL in
XFL.
this.
It is the XFL.
And I know the NFL's never going to give them credit for it and be like, this comes from the XFL.
They stole it. Of
course
They
they did.
absolutely stole it. And they're just going, it's the new rules. It's from the XFL.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched it because I don't watch preseason football.
That's fair.
But what I saw from the XFL, it does increase kick returns.
Yes.
No, it does. It incentivizes the kick returns. It brings back that specialist, kick return specialist, right? Because on punts you don't get a chance to kick return.
Yeah.
Guys are driving it 25 yards in the air, and you got a guy in your face. You got a fair catch. So
Wave it
it
up.
brings back that element of kick returning. So
Yeah.
Takes away some of the danger, too.
yeah.
Sorry, Lucas texts me saying you get a point for losing in hockey. There's your part in overtime. There's your participation.
We're not saying.
There's your participation.
Luke,
you
we're
played
not
a
saying we're
game. Good
happy
job.
with the loser point.
You played a game. You get the point.
If Boston didn't have all those OT losses, I think they had 15 OT losses. We're not talking about them being a potential contender at all. But anyway, that's hockey. We've got a lot of hockey talk coming up.
There's your loser
Don't worry.
participation point from hockey.
Orca Driver says no one complains when a kick returner runs a missback. Of course not. But we're not.
But if you
Awarding points
have
here.
if you don't have the rouge, those kick returners might not be likely to return it. That's the point. Like
No.
why not? Because they might show. Because how often have we seen a returner return it out of the end zone and we go, that was a stupid decision. You're at the 5. This is awful. Coaches are going to go, we're going to take field position. That ball goes through the end zone or gets missed. You catch that ball, you take the knee, we're taking field position.
Great.
But that point now increases those kick returns and we get those exciting plays.
We had one in the NFL the other day, didn't we?
Yeah.
Buddy took it like 90-something yards.
Puka.
Yeah.
Puka's brother.
Yeah.
It's very rare that happens in the NFL. It happens
Great
quite a bit
to
in this.
see.
We had it the Saskatchewan game against, I think it was Montreal. Lawler missed.
Because the field goal,
and
the goal posts are at the back of the end zone.
absolutely, there's part of that too. But
Yeah.
there are some that
And they're much shorter.
yeah,
I've seen them fall somewhat short and it's just out.
Sometimes.
It's dead
I've seen
ball.
it happen,
It's
yeah.
dead
Yeah.
ball.
no, you can return it if it falls.
Yeah,
short, you
but
can return it.
they never put someone back there to catch it short.
Yeah.
Because they just take the ball because they get the ball where the ball's placed.
Yeah.
So they're not going to try to return it because they get field position. Coaches will always go to field position. So if you immediately go, we're going to get rid of the rouge, then it desensitizes
so
it.
then-
But that's where if you take away the dead, like it goes through the back of the end zone, that's the way it doesn't get a point. But if it lands in the end zone, then it's up to the team to decide
if
to return
he-
it.
if
That's
he goes-
the compromise.
For field position, then you should put it to a situation where, like, for example, your field position only goes to the 10-yard line then. So if you catch that ball and you take a knee, okay, 10-yard line. That incentivizes people to go out because maybe you have the opportunity to get to the 15 or the 20.
That's a good rule. I like that one.
So you're going to change where the
Yeah. Instead of the 35, make it the 10 or the 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can get 15 yards, then you go 15 yards.
I like
That
this. Look at
incentivizes
it.
people.
We figured it out, Matthew.
Look at that. No rouge.
No rouge.
It's very Canadian too.
Anti-
It's very Canadian too.
Rouge.
Yeah, might as well go 4 downs. Let's make the the field smaller.
Don't try that.
Let's make the field
Don't
smaller.
twist it.
Let's put the field goal post. Let's put the field goal
Don't
post at the
twist
back of the end
it.
zone. Make it a 10-yard end zone instead of 20.
15
No.
is just fine. We don't need a
it.
20-yard end zone. It's a little bit much.
Beat it.
Yeah.
I wish I could do polls on YouTube, but I wonder if I could do it through this way.
Maybe.
Gotta be a way to do a poll.
Well, you can, except you need to have your laptop.
Someone texted in earlier, Press Jewelers inbox 780-218-9999, that it said make all the end zones the same. And I understand where that's coming from because in Toronto, they don't have enough room to have 20-yard end zones, so I think they have them at 17 yards each to make the field perfectly symmetrical.
Yeah, they're not full 20,
And then in Montreal, they have the track and they have the cutoff corners.
which Edmonton had
Used to have
till like 20.
10 years ago.
Yeah, when they put it, and the new turf, I
Yeah.
think when that came in, they
Yeah.
didn't corner off the end zones.
Exactly. Just make them 15 yards across the board. Take away 5 yards. It'll put a lot more action in the box. Like, it'll be great.
Yeah.
I think. So, anyway.
I don't understand how that's been allowed, but I also kind of like it. I like those quirky things.
Well,
I wish more sports did like baseball.
Baseball,
there's
all parks are
standards,
different.
but all
the
parks
parks are different.
Yeah, but there's a standard. Like you have to probably be within
yeah,
a certain
yeah.
this and this, right?
Same
Like
thing in
there's
soccer, the fields aren't all the same.
absolutely. Actually, there was with Copa America. Somebody showed, I think it was Orlando, and how much smaller they were because they were playing in NFL stadiums. So they wanted one pitch across the board. I wish like hockey and like
Hockey used to be that way. Boston Garden
And Buffalo.
and Chicago and
The
Buffalo.
whole minor league is like that. It's
And I wish-
jungle.
I wouldn't mind seeing like where you
You
build your way how you want
Like
it.
I was
And
talking to someone, a scout from the KHL. He says all the rinks are different there. They're playing on Olympic, a hybrid, and then NHL size. There's no standard. But I
think-
remember that shoebox in Boston. Like
Yeah.
it was crazy.
Yeah. It wasn't 200 by 85.
No,
it was
it was
like
like
189
Yeah, it was like
by
50.
85.
And then same thing
Deep
in
corners.
I remember the old Chicago stadium, like the neutral zone was like 15 feet shorter than it's
Really?
supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's tight.
It's tight. It was tight.
Look
So-
out. Heads up.
But I don't know. It gives some Now, obviously, now all the NHL rinks are standardized.
Standard, yeah. And you know what's interesting is the international side, IIHF, is leaning more towards NHL size
They
rinks.
do, because it's just you watch the international ice, and I was talking to a couple of kids that who play for the Hlinka here, and they love coming over here. There's one kid that was banging everyone, like every hit every hit, never turned down a hit. He was hitting everything. A Swedish kid.
Yep.
And
I know what you're talking about.
and I can't remember. So I went and talked to him after, and he's like, "Oh, I can't do that back home because it's Olympic ice. You get lost, and then you out of position. So because there's no hitting there.
You have
and
like one or two more strides on Olympic ice,
Yeah.
and that could be the difference between a fast guy getting away from you
Yeah.
and a guy being able to catch you.
Yeah.
But yeah, things happen so much quicker on
Standard.
North American standard ice.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just there's more action.
Yeah.
But if you want like power plays and different stuff where you have more room, Olympic size is easy.
But I can see the IWGF going, you know what? Let's just standardize. Let's all play
I
on.
think
they're
the
playing the Olympics on
Yeah.
on that
They're
ice.
building that new arena, and it's
happening?
I think so. They're a little bit behind schedule, but they'll get it
What,
done.
in Milan?
In in Milan, and
There'll be guys driving nails in a day of the morning of the game. That's the way it was in
After the
Brazil.
espresso.
We showed up at the stadium and guys were still driving some nails in. It's like nice.
Isn't that like the story of Olympics? Is like going into all those spots and they're still working away because they haven't got it done. You know, they've had 8-9 years to
wasn't
get ready.
Sochi was really bad.
Sochi
for
was
that,
bad.
right?
Yeah. Sochi was bad. They were still finishing up venues and people were showing
Yeah.
up. Talked to the reporters that actually I was talking to Mike Russo. I ran into him in Prague, and he was talking about Sochi and how one day he had a shower or like a shower curtain, then the next day he had something else, then the next day he got a desk, and then every day
He's coming back and seeing what was new.
every day he was getting something new in his room, you know. So it was by the end of it, it was all ready to go, but then he had to leave. Like
he
it
was
was just
gone,
like.
yeah.
The treat.
funny.
But no, I remember when I was at the World Cup in Brazil in 2014, we showed up at the stadium and they're still working on. They're still putting seats into the
Oh, my
stadium.
goodness.
Like you literally open the doors and you guys are still putting seats in.
That happened the first night of the Coliseum here.
Yeah.
They were putting in seats still. It was Edmonton versus Cleveland. WHA, obviously, in 74. I remember Rod Phillips being like, yeah, I got up to the broadcast booth in the old catwalk, and I'm watching guys screwing in seats for the game, and they had to run like fold-up chairs into the arena
Oh my God.
to make sure that they had enough for everybody showing up that night. So it happens here too, or it did at least 40, 50 years ago. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that was a long time ago.
I still wish there was the ability for teams to kind of customize their buildings. Mm-hmm. Because there's like, you go to these different places, and this is just the minors, but certain teams, based on their rink, would build and construct their team certain ways.
Oh, yeah.
So like in Binghamton, the boards were basically attached to cement.
Oof.
And so then the glass was just above it, and you hit the boards like along the sides of the walls, and it was like you're running right into a concrete wall. But then they would have heavy hockey teams, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh man, this sucks. And then Syracuse, which is a war memorial, it's like, okay, it's a smaller building, it's right on top of you, it's loud. And they had a team, I remember I think it might have been 2010, but it was like Konopka, Rome, Morasti, Dorset. They probably had 10 to like 12 guys that were ready to drop at any time. And it was just, they went on a 33 game heater where they got a point in every single game, but it was like, because they were literally intimidating everybody, but it was based on like how their building was. So they had this intimidating building, intimidating team, and then they just went on heaters all the time.
Wasn't that John Cooper's team too? They won the championship.
I don't think it was. No, that was Cooper's team. Was a couple years after.
Okay.
Because they switched from Columbus to Tampa. And that's when Cooper was around.
Okay,
But
okay.
It was just so interesting seeing some of the different barns across that league. You're like, oh man,
Well, I can imagine.
where am I today?
Well, it's like when I did the trek of the Western League, I saw some of those old barns.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm like, oh, wow, this is an interesting place.
This is it?
I think it was
interesting.
it Swift Current? As a rookie, you've got to go down these stairs, this flight of stairs, but you're like hauling trunks down this thing.
Yeah.
And it was just so icy. So now you've got your dress shoes on. You're trying to carry this massive trunk to like another guy. And all you're worried about is slipping and dying. Like all these different places. And it's just like, what is going on?
Swift Current
here?
was literally a barn,
Yeah.
and then they turned it into a hockey arena.
Shocking.
And then you had to go to go to the press box, you basically they just stuck a press box in the middle of the concourse, and you had to get a ladder, and then you climb up into the press box, and then when you had to climb down, you had to make sure you didn't kick someone in the head on the way down if there was on the concourse there. I was like, this place is awesome.
Oh,
Have you seen the trend that we're seeing in the NHL right now of teams filling out their center ice?
I saw the
yes.
Panthers. I saw the Panthers. do
Panthers,
that.
the Sens, and the Canucks have all done it.
Yeah.
I really hope it connects. I really
don't
like the
mind it.
look of it.
Yeah.
I love it. I don't know.
The big Oiler on there. Well, the Coyotes did that. Remember, they blacked
They
it
had
out.
the moon.
Yeah, they had the moon.
Wait,
don't
so the
remember that
Sens are doing it? What are the Ottawa
The
Sens?
Sens just like almost enlarged their logo
They just
and
put
it
the
fills
big
up.
logo. I saw the Panthers one today.
What did you think?
Oh, I
liked
see.
it.
It was all right.
Not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
So that's what Ottawa did.
Yeah.
They basically just filled the whole circle now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zoomed in, basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Canucks did it
Oh, okay.
with
yeah,
the
but-
Orca. And then the Panthers have done it. I've seen a couple teams not
Coyotes
do it, I
were
think.
the first ones to do it.
Coyotes
Back in
were
the
first ones
90s,
to
they
do
did it.
Yeah.
But it feels like it's almost like a mandate from the NHL or something. But I think I've seen like Vegas and Calgary, and there's another
yeah.
that didn't do it, or they've shown or something that doesn't look like they might not have it. So I don't know if it's a full
It would
like
look good though. Like I think
regulation.
the logo would look good. Just
Yeah.
a bigger logo. Just
Anaheim did it, but their duck kind of almost fills the whole thing, but they can't quite get the full logo into
oh,
it.
okay.
but-
I see Vancouver.
yeah. It's not bad.
I think it just adds something, a little personality to the ice.
Yeah.
And it helps the NHL just come across a little better on TV and
It
things
looks
like
nice.
that.
I think,
No, I think it
the
looks good.
Orca looks nice. Florida put so Vegas started this inside the center ice. They had like basically the Stanley Cup. If you look at the details on the inside of the cup, it has like a certain design to it. The Golden Knights put that at center ice the year after they won the cup. Florida did the same thing this year in their center ice logo.
I actually don't mind that.
It's a nice touch. Yeah. It's like, hey, we won the cup last year. If you're Edmonton and you wanted to do like a zoomed in logo, would you just do the big oil drop?
No, I do the logo.
You do the whole
full
logo?
thing.
You just
You
zoom
saying
in?
an oil drop?
Just the drop, the orange.
I don't know if that would work if you zoomed in all the way. Like if you're trying to fill up everything.
I would
That's
do,
what-
I would
that's
do
what
the
everyone
whole.
else is
I do
doing.
the whole logo. Just it looks better on TV. Big logo like
I
that.
remember when Edmonton at the Coliseum had the logos outside
Yeah, the two
the
little.
circle?
Yeah, the two little.
And they had the Northlands logos inside the circle.
Yeah.
I always thought that was very unique.
Oh, yeah.
The Oilers had the two. There were tiny little two Oilers logos on ice.
I wish they customize ice a little bit more. Like
do
they
you
should
mean?
put like oil drops behind the net.
To add space
Behind the net? No, it's not.
It is at well, no.
on TV.
That's on the
Can't they?
boards.
The league has
But
like
right
certain.
behind on the ice, right behind the net, just have like it's almost like the end zones in football.
I get it.
Yeah,
The league get rid of the trapezoid first of all.
yeah.
I know the league has certain standards. I know when Edmonton, when they had the old copper and blue, the logo had a red circle around it. At Rexall Place, the Oilers would have a red circle around center ice, and they had to pay a fine every year to the league for having the improper color
Oh, 'cause it's
circle
supposed to
at
be
center
blue.
ice. Yeah,
Interesting.
but it completed the logo kind of thing.
Oh,
So
okay.
they'd have to pay a fine for it.
Who was it that asked if the blue lines had to be blue?
I'm not going to say who did that. It was the red line.
Was it the red
Does
line
it have to be red?
Does the red line
yeah,
have to be red?
Yeah,
Okay, that's
and it
right.
was like, yeah.
Like, could you imagine
Marketing
just
people.
behind the goal line if you just had like Edmonton on the one side, Oilers on the other? Just
That would look
here's
cool.
it'd look really cool. Like
That
you're
would
just
look good.
customizing your rink.
Yeah, that would look good. I agree. Speaking of Oilers,
Yeah.
how we feel about Broberg leaving?
How do you feel?
I
talked about this for an
yeah,
hour
I've talked.
yesterday.
I'll go with I would have matched it because I would have traded him next summer for something better than
Not
a second.
chance. You're not trading that $4.5 million contract.
If he plays well this year, you are.
Nah, he won't play $4.5 million well.
That's the risk that you take.
Right.
So then, if you don't think he's going to be that,
Well,
if
he
you don't
hasn't
think,
been that last 3 years. That's what I'm saying. Why would he be now?
then you take that second. Well, I
He had
think
good games in the final.
yeah. Maybe it's the developments. Maybe this is the time that he
Big
develops, gets there, gets his chance, and does it. And then you flip him in next August and get something better.
That's a tough
But
contract to flip. The St. Louis, I think St. Louis is going to get stuck with that. They're going to realize like, ooh, this guy's a little further behind than we thought. I could be wrong.
I think he could become a $4.6 million.
Yeah, in 3 years, 4 years, yes.
But not
today.
this year.
Not
Today
this
he's not.
year.
He's played 81 NHL games, 10
Exactly.
playoff. Well, no,
He'd be making more than
playoffs.
Bouchard. That's- yeah.
No. You played in the NHL as a defenseman. You were a puck-moving defenseman. You teach kids now. You're a coach. You're a GM. What are you saying, bro? You and I do a show together on Saturdays. You help out on as a
I think
on
he's
pre and
got.
post.
There's lots of pieces of his game that I like. Is he ready to be a 4.6? I don't know, but there is just the way he skates, the way he moves the puck. There was some poise that he showed on the biggest stage. I don't think you can either. This guy's got nerves of steel, or he actually developed into a pretty decent defenseman.
Which one is it, though, in your opinion? Educated opinion.
I think he's a little bit of both. Because the one thing that you looked at throughout the entirety of the series is that when CC was in, he was in trouble because he just panicked and he got rid of the puck. When Desharnais was in, he panicked, got rid of the puck. He always chipped it off the glass or they rimmed the puck. All of a sudden, Broberg comes in, and the ability for him to skate his way out of problems helped the Oilers.
Right.
Because all of a sudden now, and I remember texting you in the finals where guys would get the puck and they would hit the middle of the ice, and Broberg and Bouchard were probably the two guys, and Ekholm, I guess, three, that would consistently hit the middle of the ice, and the Oilers would be out of their zone like that.
And on their way, yeah.
And they're gone.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, these guys start rim the puck, and they're always hemmed in because Florida would just pinch their defensemen.
Yes.
But then it would be like, okay, well, Broberg gets the puck again. He skates 2 or 3 strides, bring a guy to him, hits the middle, they're out of the zone. So seeing that, I thought it translated extremely well to when the Oilers were playing at their best.
Yeah.
And for them, they need guys that can do that. And then on the flip side, on the defensive end, he used his legs to take away time and space, which we saw in multiple goals, like the Kulak goal, for example. Guy doesn't take away time and space. You've got Reinhart that just walks in and he rips it in the net. Broberg wouldn't have let that happen because he probably would have just skated or he would have angled him, forward skate, take away that lane, and it's over. And now we're going the opposite way. And so for me, I didn't necessarily think they needed to match it, but I just really liked what Broberg was able to do with his legs because it helped the Oilers at the end of the day based on the way their style play.
Yeah. So now we watch and see if that type of heads-up natural instinct play is 82 games consistent.
Yeah.
It is. And not only that, is that how St. Louis plays? Or are they a team that goes up and down?
Everybody
the ice?
thinks they're a puck possession team, so in theory, sure. But we'll find out.
Yeah.
Or will he start reverting to rimming the puck because all of a sudden...
Now he doesn't want to make a mistake. It's $4.5 million.
Right.
I didn't see enough there to give him that contract. That was my issue.
To validate it.
It's to validate that contract. I just think, it's a big loss. But yeah, I'm actually.
Is it though? Because I alluded to this again last week. I hop on to Montreal, and Mitch Gallo and the guys in Montreal are like, why is everyone freaking out about a fourth liner and a third pairing D-man being lost to the St. Louis Blues? Well, I was like, whoa. And then I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, I guess, right now that's what they are.
Well, they are right now, but I think the point was Broberg is going to be a top 4 D guy.
Is he? I don't know.
Moving forward.
Yeah, he would have had a great
that's the
opportunity
projection.
to be.
That's
Yeah,
the
of course.
They projected that. I remember watching this guy play when the lockout was here, when they had not the lockout, the
Shortened
big
season.
short COVID, when they took a break and then they came back
Yeah.
and then they had the little mini camp. And
Yeah,
they
yeah,
brought
he
him
was
in.
great.
And I was like, whoa, this kid is great. This kid's going to be awesome. And then that was 4 years ago and he still hasn't been able to, you're right, do it consistently.
Right.
Yeah.
Someone suggested this to me, executive with one of the teams. Edmonton gave Broberg a taste too early of the National Hockey League, and it changed his mindset. And maybe he got that taste and thought he belonged, but he wasn't quite ready. I
could see that.
Point this towards
I
you
could
because
definitely see that.
I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, we saw him go up too early. He wasn't ready. All of a sudden, he thinks in his mind he's an NHLer when he's not quite. And
RV all over again.
And his mindset changed. And he got grumpy. He was not happy. DVD, you're in that locker room just as much
he was
as
not
I
happy
am.
yesterday. He asked for a trade last year.
Yep.
He wanted out.
Yeah.
So the first opportunity he got to bail,
He did.
He took it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've also had people suggest to me that he wasn't sticking around regardless.
I would have taken that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as he got an opportunity.
But yeah,
Someone
I
quadruples
do-
my salary, I'm leaving.
100%. You can't fault the guy for that.
fault the
Like,
guy. I know
sorry,
people were
but
trying to blame him for that. I'm like,
turn
no.
down $4 million.
I think more people. I don't think as many people are mad about Broberg as Holloway. That like it's not
But
he.
even
He
Holloway,
didn't get
like-
that massive one, like that massive increase like Broberg did.
Yeah.
Here's a guy that's younger. He bet on yourself.
You got $1
Believe
million,
that you can
yeah.
go get. You will still like that. You're going to have a career still that you can
But
go
is that
play,
not the Oilers'
and that
fault?
you're going to have a chance here with the Oilers to prove yourself to go get those bigger contracts, while also you have a shot at the Stanley Cup as well. You could potentially still have both in that sense. Whereas you've now taken away your chance at the Stanley Cup immediately to get that extra over 2 years, $2 million now, and that's a lot of money. But like you could still be getting that
At the
afterwards.
back end of your career.
But is that not the Oilers' fault? Because you look at the roster construction, and I'm not taking shots at any player, but we saw Corey Perry last year be healthy scratched in the playoffs because he couldn't keep up. And I know that they value his personality in the locker room. I know they value his experience. I know they value all that stuff. So this is not a shot at Corey Perry, but he's $2 million.
1.4 this year.
Is he 1.4?
I think it's 1.4.
Close enough.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter still remains is that you could have taken that money that you've given
And given it to
Perry
Broberg.
and you could have given it to Holloway.
Oh, sorry, Holloway.
And
I would have preferred
Holloway's
that.
probably sticking around, and you've got a little bit more youth in your lineup. So, to me, it doesn't really necessarily. We can sit here and blame the kid, but $2 million in his eyes is like life-changing money.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you're going to take that because you're establishing yourself in the NHL now. You're not at the bottom end of the lineup. You're on a team that's either descending or is rebuilding, whatever you want to, how you want to spin that. And now he can potentially put himself into a higher part of the lineup and be a factor. And then maybe, after his next contract's up, what comes up is now you're a $4 million guy because you've taken that chance. But if you're here in Edmonton, well, you don't know what you're going to get. You might be on the fourth line the entire time. So I don't blame him for taking that deal.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see him stay because I do think the Oilers need that youth. I still think the Oilers need a little bit more speed into their lineup. I was really liked the way he was developing. But at the end of the day, like, guys, yes, we love everything that Corey Perry's doing. We love everything that Derek Ryan's doing. But
I'd
to
rather
me,
have Dylan Holloway
I'd rather
as
have
opposed
Dylan
to both of
Holloway
those
than
guys.
those guys.
Yeah.
And that's once again not shots at these guys. It's just it is what it is.
Yeah.
I think he took a calculated risk,
Yep.
him and his agent, and I think they didn't expect Edmonton to balk at that. And
They thought they'd still be Oilers.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
for
they would
sure
just
they
match.
did. Yeah, they would just match. And I thought they would too. I thought they would
Same.
bite the bullet and match.
Yeah.
I thought that from the very beginning, I thought Broberg walks,
Yeah.
always stays. But
Yeah.
I was wrong. I
I had Pod Colson.
calls.
And the one thing I don't understand, and Dusty was filling me in on this because I was away last week, that people are getting very excited about Ty Emberson. And it's like, hey, guys, he played 30 games for the worst team in the NHL by far.
But he was
He's with Chris Knobloch.
his plus minus was really good, or not.
That's
And
great.
he
He had
played
10
not
points.
as bad as it should be.
But Bell's
He had more points than Dylan Holloway
played
last year.
almost 30% of the time against elites. I think that's why they're so excited.
Okay, great.
He's a
That's
good-
a nice
he's a good
indicator,
defense, yeah.
but he hasn't done it ever for 82 games.
It's a great flyer, I'll say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Taking a shot at him, see what he can do with the Oilers. Maybe
At
less pressure.
worst, maybe he becomes, your sixth defenseman and a
Sure.
really good sixth defenseman.
But I'm not getting hot and horny over Ty Emberson on my blue line until halfway through the season. It's like, damn, he's good. That was great scouting by the pro scouts. Right now, I'm going, well, does he make the team?
So don't put you down for an Emberson jersey just yet.
Don't put me down for an Oilers jersey ever.
I think Emberson makes the team. I don't think Brown makes the team.
And you bury him in the minors?
I think he goes to the minors.
Okay.
I think they're going to make a trade at some point.
I think, well, probably.
When that is, I don't know. But I would be
You
shocked.
dropping little Easter eggs.
I'd be shocked if they didn't try to make a trade before the season started.
Try or get one done. Because it sounds like they are trying right now.
I'd be shocked if they didn't try to get a deal done before the season started.
Anything in the free agent PTO route?
No.
No.
I don't know how you guys feel about it, but like, I'm sorry. I was seeing on Twitter, was it last week, Barry coming back?
Well,
There's
hang
the
on a
big one.
second, because there's smoke there.
I know there is, but
from both sides.
I know there is, but at the same time, like, why?
Five guy.
Why?
Good for the room? Is there not a little value to that? You lose Cody Cece, who's tight. You bring Barry in. Does that help the room a
You
bit a
got
little
rid
more?
of Barry because he couldn't play D.
Yeah.
Listen, I understand that, but you also got Matthias Ekholm back in that trade. And Barry's going to be pissed off. Look at what happened with him and Barry Trotz in Nashville. He's probably going to be extra motivated to prove
not play
everyone
D?
he's still in NHL.
Cool.
But Belsey, in his last, I think, year, let's call it calendar year as an Oiler, the complaints about Tyson Barrie died in his defensive game. There were a few here and there where you'd get some scatter shot, but people were not complaining about Tyson Barrie's
But do
defense
you
as
think
much
he's
as
going
at
to come
first.
back and be a top 4 defenseman?
No,
for the
absolutely not.
Oilers?
If he comes
But then you
back,
have
it would be
Emberson.
in a depth role.
So then you have Emberson, who you just traded for.
Great
You've got
analytics, I
Stetcher,
guess.
who you have and you re-signed.
Yes.
You've got Brown, who you signed.
Still
so to
don't
me,
understand
if you're
that
looking
one.
for a 6,
Okay.
all those guys play
But
better defense than Tyson Barrie.
Is
does.
Barry good enough to get you to February in the top 4, where then
Yeah.
you go trade and get your top 4 defenseman?
I don't know. He doesn't.
'Cause I think
he
you
doesn't
trade
have
Barrie?
A job. He doesn't
No.
have a job
You
in the
bring
NHL
Barry
right
in,
now.
but you don't have the Oilers in search of a top 4 right now, I guess.
Yeah.
You bring Barry to pair him with Nurse, Ekholm with Bouchard.
Woof.
You got Kulak and whoever, Emberson in your final
People
pairing.
were complaining about
you get to
CC
February
and Nurse.
where you get to February and you, because the Oilers, they have the cap space. They're obviously going to go get a defender. That's going to be their priority come the trade
Yeah.
deadline. Can they do what they need to do through the first 4 months of the season, 3 months
Yeah,
of the
that'd be
season,
fine.
to be there where you have a Tyson Barrie at only $1 million, let's say,
Fair.
and then you go get your trade and you add to the blue line. He drops into your bottom pairing.
Or you trade him.
Or you trade him, or you put him in the minors,
This guy,
or
thank you.
he goes in the press box, whatever it is. You have it because his salary's only $1 million. There's a lot of flexibility with it, and can he get you to that point where you're not giving up the cap space
Are you
right
worse
now,
off?
and you could wait till the end of the season or middle of the season where you could go get your Matthias Ekholm 2.0.
Are you worse off with Stetcher than you are with Barrie?
I don't know. I would still look at Tyson Barrie over Troy Stetcher.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Stetcher's probably a better defenseman. Like defending.
disagree.
No,
I disagree.
you can't defend.
No,
In your
I
opinion?
would trust Tyson Barrie more than I would Troy Stetcher. Slightly. I should add slightly.
Slightly.
But that's the point. Okay, so if it's a slightly situation, you already have Stetcher in the room.
Well,
You don't need to bring in Barrie, who.
what if you brought
let's
in
be
Barrie and
honest,
got rid of
it's-
Stetcher?
It's
You could do that.
legitimately a lateral move at that point. Then
Yes.
What if you're slightly better? I'd take the slight upgrade.
is that like an 81 versus an 80 type thing? Or
Maybe like an 83 over an 80. We're splitting here.
100%
Vibe
splitting
Daddy,
here.
Belsey.
But like-
Vibe Daddy.
Hey, I thought Barrie when he played here was awesome. I thought he had a resurgence. I think he got his career back in line.
Yes.
I'm not chirping Barrie. I think he was good when he was here.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the facts are the facts. He wasn't playing that great a D. He was playing better D
Yeah.
than when he first showed up.
Yeah.
So things stopped, but he was also on the power play putting up points.
Yes.
And then they said, okay, we've got Bouchard, who is literally this, but a better offensive player. So by Barrie, we got Ekholm coming in. And now we're going to go back to the well to say Tyson Barrie is a top 4, and we're going to pair him with Darnell Nurse. Like, let's be honest here. Everybody in the city of Edmonton thinks Darnell Nurse sucks, and I don't agree with that. I think he's
disagree.
valuable.
But he needs a big season this year.
I think
be
he's
better.
a valuable defender, but at the end of the day, he makes mistakes, and we all know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we complained about him with Cece, and Cece's a better defender than Tyson Barrie. And you think that's going to go well in your top 4? Come on.
We're looking at the slight upgrade here, though, right? I'm kidding.
yeah.
I'm kidding. I know. I
don't
know.
know.
It's not
I
a
don't know
great
if it is.
No,
situation.
it's not.
No.
Here's one. Gags and a couple other people have been texting in. Any thoughts, gents, on D'Angelo? To me, this guy is a better option than Barrie / Schultz / Stetcher, despite his personal issues in the past, of course. I'll just say this. If you're picking between those guys, I would have Anthony D'Angelo or Tony D'Angelo at the bottom of the list.
Yeah, I'd take Barry over D'Angelo.
I would take Schultz over D'Angelo.
Shattenkirk?
I'd take,
Shattenkirk?
Yeah, maybe
I'd
even
take Shattenkirk over D'Angelo.
Yeah.
I think you already have enough nonsense in your room right now
Yes.
that you don't need to add more to it.
You get a bunch of dum-dums in the
Yeah.
room and we placate to stupid.
Well,
Matt,
thing, you
North
don't want to
America,
derail a
yeah.
good thing.
Not in Europe.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
that's the issue right now is derailing a good thing. So
Yeah.
if you got a good thing going,
Just
Keep it
just
that way.
leave it there.
leave it and let it go.
Don't mess it up.
Our friend Corey the Butcher with Acme Meats, he is part of Butchery Team Canada. They're going to the World Butchers Challenge. They're raising some funds. As he was saying, it's like $10,000 for Team Canada to just get together and practice. So they're raising some money. Meet up at the market. It's taking place September 25th from 6 to 9 out at Acme Meat Market. $100 ticket gets you into a draw to get a hind of beef, which is valued at $1,400.
Jeez.
You get a beer and a food and raffle ticket with that ticket. You come to the event. There's silent auction items. There's some stuff with EST. There's some other things that are involved that they're giving away. A couple of really nice dinners at some top dining establishments here in Edmonton. Tickets available at Acme Meat Market, or just email acme.meatmarket@gmail.com to support Acme Meats. And Corey the Butcher is him and Team Canada, of the Butchery Team Canada. They're going to the World Butchers Challenge and just raising some money for that. With that said, we got to get to the Estes category for the day. Second last day of the. What are you laughing at over there, Kelsey? Second last day of announcing all of our categories for the Estes before I get the form out there to everyone to vote on from the Nasty Club annual members. Today's just one that we have to discuss or just throw out there. It's pretty basic. Oh no, I didn't. Yes, I have that in the email. So there's two awards, actually. One you're part of. We've got Event of the Year, EST Event of the Year. NFL Watch Party at Century Casino. We got Super Bowl at Century Casino. We got the EST Golf Classic. We had the Nasty Bash. And then I'll have to pick an Oilers Watch Party at Hudson's. I don't know if there's any other events that I'm missing that we did this year at EST.
We had some fun ones, hey?
We had the Birch and Bear one.
Birch and Bear.
Oh,
that was
Birdie
great.
Blues launch,
Birdie Blues
yes.
launch was awesome.
Yep.
Thank you for that one.
That was
I will
fun.
have to mark that one down.
Yeah, we had some fun at that one.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. My night spiraled out of control. Thank you to Schmitty and Josh over at Birch and Bear and Strathcona Spirits.
That was a good one.
Had a little
That was
bit too
fun.
much fun that night.
I need to just make sure. Yeah, I think today I was supposed to also do Gutsiest Performance of the Year. Shawn Belle is part of that Gutsiest Performance of the Year.
2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago when he came in completely hungover and he left the Hangout twice.
I'm not sure I was hungover. I think I was still drunk.
He left twice in the Hangout to go.
That's gutsy performance.
Feel better.
Yes, feel better. There's a good way of doing it.
Make
Just
his
to go.
body
No, I yacked.
feel better.
Twice.
Yes, you did.
I've got Dusty and Eric both being nominated for doing the morning show at Century after the Super Bowl.
That's tough.
I've got YouTube Trev during the heat wave when he wasn't able to sleep at all.
Living here, basically.
Living here, basically.
Did you hear about that?
No, it's too hot his place.
Which is way too
yeah.
hot. He slept in his car one night.
Yeah.
And then came here. So he was not getting any sleep and doing the morning show. I also got YouTube Trev following the Oilers Game 7 loss in the Stanley Cup Final.
Oh,
He got through it.
He was heartbroken on the show that night.
Yeah, and he got through the show. He did it. So I'm going to give
Yeah.
that as a gutsiest performance.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
gutsy performance. He was probably fighting some.
I love Trev. He's enjoying his vacation right now. We've worked on him because he's a diehard Oilers fan, and that's a great thing. But we've worked at separating his heart from his mind when it comes to the Oilers, and he's done a great job. But that was a tough one for him.
Oh, I imagine.
I remember saying to him before we started that show, I'm like, "You gonna be okay?" And he's like, "I need a minute. I need a minute."
Did he have to go for a walk?
There was no time for a walk. He had to take a walk a couple of times
know
this
he
year
did,
when we
yeah.
were watching.
He's
yeah.
listening right now because
What's
he's
up?
jumped in the nasty chat as well. He says, me producing Hello Hockey after the Christmas party.
Oh,
Oh yeah, he was banged up
he
that
was
day.
in rough shape.
Well, I've got a few YouTube Trevs in there, except that's the only one for alcohol. The other one's in there. I don't know if there's anything else. Have you been?
He's a trooper. No, well, I've had some rough mornings.
He's been a couple Hello
Yeah.
Hockeys.
Couple Hello Hockeys where I was like, I'm not in good shape. But
Because you were good. Like, you guys went out in Vegas on the first night, but you were good for
Yeah.
the hangout the next day. There was nothing.
Vegas, well, that was a pretty tame night in Vegas, though.
yeah,
Vegas standards.
that
We were
night
at
was
Tommy's-
great.
We were at Tommy's.
We're at Tom's Urban at
No.
New York. And we had Larry Ring come
Well,
by,
everyone
and then
came-
his
everyone
friend.
came by
Everyone
to
started
visit-
showing up.
showing
Like
up, yeah.
Dave Naylor and Farhan Lalji
Yeah,
were
we just
there.
kind of told everyone, hey, this is where we are. If
Yeah.
you guys want to come by for beer, and then suddenly
It was just
Everyone
like
was there.
Cam
There's like 10
Moon,
people
Jack
there.
showed up. I
They all
think
showed up,
briefly,
yeah.
and my dad showed up.
your dad showed up. Schwartzy was there for a little bit.
Schwartzy was with us, and yeah, it just ended up being like
It was a good night. It was a quiet. it was
Did
like-
you guys? No, you guys.
We
went to
didn't
the
go
Sphere
because
that night.
we had to go to Sphere that night, and then because it was a long day, we hadn't
Yeah.
slept. We went back to the hotel and we got like 3 hours of sleep to do the morning show the next day.
I had like a 2-for-1. I know Eric rips on me because I didn't redeem that one shot thing we got for us, but I had that 2-for-1, and we're like, hey, let's go there. We have a bite, and then all of a sudden it's like 30 people.
Yeah, it was a good night.
It was good. Look what
nice.
you started.
It was tame for Vegas standards,
was.
but it was.
Kelvin-
we all had to work the next day or something.
Yeah, it was the game day the next day.
You came on the hangout the next day,
That's right. I did.
and that was the day Stoff showed up and Jack didn't say hi to us.
Yes, and I mocked the guy's shirt, which was not very
Yes, but he listened.
nice. Yes, he was a listener. I apologize to this day.
Kelvin went to 6 o'clock or vlogger launch party as
That
well
was
for
fun.
an event of the year. Yes,
Super
I'll have to
fun.
throw that one out there as well.
Yeah, shout out to the crew at Alley Cat. Yep.
Gutsy's performance. There's got to be a few more Gutsy performances. I'll have to go think.
It seems like all these gutsy performances are because of self-induced.
No, 100%.
injuries.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually why
That's right, it's
he
Gutsy.
inspired it, because of what happened 2 weeks ago. It is the fully inspired trophy, and
Okay.
I kind of want him to win. I'm not going to rig it in any way,
Yeah.
because if he wins, I will just label it the Shawn Belle trophy
That's
moving
awesome.
forward.
You should.
Oh, I love that.
100%.
You know, I think it's
It
going to
was
have to be
war.
named after
Should
Shawn.
be
After
named after him.
I was in a dogfight that day. It was not good.
You did not.
we had some
win.
people text in during the show, be like, "I didn't know Shawn was on the show today."
Yeah, I might have said 3 words and then
Yeah.
I gotta go.
He was physically there.
You see Trev's
we got
picture
some more.
the other day on Twitter? Now that
With
he's
his-
home, he's shaved, full shaved. He looks like he's 12.
looked-
Neat.
well, he
Oh,
got
yeah.
a haircut that he didn't ask for.
Oh no.
He sat down, he got there, and it went shorter than he was asking. And he was very scared to like take his hat off. He didn't want to take his hat off.
Yeah, I get it.
thought he looked great.
He looked great. Like
He
a
looked
nice young
wonderful.
man, like,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He cleaned up well for his grandma. It looked like.
100%.
Lovely.
Like he was here, he was letting himself go. He grew that beard, like he looked like a young Tom Selleck.
Mustache too.
Mustache
yeah.
is just like he just, you know, he was doing things here because he was on his own.
Yep.
Then he went home, and all of a sudden he looked like grandma's little boy again.
Yes.
Yeah, so cute.
I really like it. That's exactly it.
Pinch those cheeks.
Yeah,
I was
so cute.
I was very
Trev.
proud of him when they're looking at that photo. Let's get to Road Warriors, brought to you by AccuSteel Heavy Haul Trailers. Custom manufacturing heavy haul trailers for mining, oil, gas, equipment, highway transportation. Custom engineered solutions trusted by leaders in the heavy transport industry. Get on the road with peace of mind for your large loads. Check them out, accusteel.ca. Looking at the road schedule, it's not really, it's baseball today. We got baseball. Where are the Toronto Blue Jays today? They are in Boston, continuing their series against the Red Sox, as Danny Jansen made history yesterday
Playing for 2 teams.
in the same game, which is awesome. I love that
I
story.
I like
That's allowed.
that. Well, you know, it was a delayed game. He started the game for the Jays back in Toronto. You were describing it yesterday.
Yeah,
on the
it
show.
was
Oh,
like
that's right, yes,
inning and a
yes.
half. He was at bat, but he caught. Then he got traded. So in this game, he got subbed out by the Blue Jays, but then the Red Sox were able to sub him in for catcher spot. It's not like you could impact the game in a negative way. Like
it. I think
it's quirky, and it's
a
the fact
quirky thing,
the fact
it's
that you could say that baseball history was made yesterday.
I guess,
that's
yeah.
really cool.
I have no qualms with this. I think
It's-
it's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's not like you're going to mess it up for either team here.
Right.
So
Well, Will Ferrell
just
played
funny.
for like 11 MLB teams in one.
No, it's spring training. Yeah,
one
no,
day.
9. It was 9. 'Cause
Yeah.
no, 10 because he played every position
Yeah.
for 1 inning.
He was
Yeah,
best
during
as
spring training.
Oakland Day, I believe.
That was the best.
Yeah.
we have 2 La Liga games going on today. We have 2 Champions League qualifying games going on today. Also, Felix Auger-Aliassime, I think, hits the court, and so does Denis
When I
Shapovalov
was
today.
in Prague, there was a Champions League qualifier. Yeah, they're out of town, but there's a lot of people at the bar watching. There's 2 teams in Prague.
Did they have a
apparently.
Kelly's Pub at Prague?
I don't think so.
An
They did it.
equivalent?
Oh yeah, they have lots of equivalents.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you go? Have you been back to Kelly's in the time you've been back?
Yeah, I was there
Of course you were.
Well, the mayor has to check and get his mail.
to check and get my mail. Well, no, because we were there.
Make sure everybody's
we were there
doing their
Thursday
job.
night before
No
the
kidding,
concert,
Yeah.
and then we were there Friday night because it was Friday night.
No, Friday was a concert.
No, was it Friday? No, it was. Oh yeah, it was Friday.
So you were there Thursday and Friday.
I guess I was. Thursday, Friday,
Amazing.
and then
Sunday
I was
before the
supposed to go
concert?
back Saturday, but I decided not to, and then Sunday before the concert.
I was out with
Are
a
you
friend.
strictly a Kelly's guy? Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
Not
that's
strictly,
okay.
no, not strictly. It's just that it's
When
a
you're the
block-
mayor.
It's a block
When you're
from
the
my
mayor,
house.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Right. Like
I have a
I'll walk
picture
in.
of him somewhere
No.
up there.
They've got the boss, the boss,
Employee of the month.
employer of the month.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
Well, he'll walk
Derek.
in. It's like, Derek, come in, yeah, and then I'll walk in. The beers.
the two
already-
beers will be
two
sitting
beers
there,
Felix Auger-Aliassime dropped his first two sets, 6-2, 6-4. He's down
on, Felix.
1-0 in the third set, so he might get knocked out here early at the U.S. Open, which would be a shame.
Early. So I'm looking forward to that. Should be fun.
That's gonna be
Second
great.
week, US Open.
Arthur Ashe Stadium looks awesome. We went by. Remember, we were on that baseball trip and we went to the Mets
'cause
game.
We went to Mets game and we drove by.
But you could see the stadium. It looks huge.
on the way there.
Yeah,
taking
be
the,
good.
Taking the train.
yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Full day pass, like type thing, or is it like, how does that
I'm
work?
not sure what we're doing yet. After Mark's
Champa's taking care of it.
Taking care of it. I've been in New York. I can't remember last time I was in New York because it was obviously pre-pandemic. So been about 5 years,
Yeah.
5 or 6 years
Yeah.
since I was there. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it should be fun.
Be good.
It's fun. We had some fun nights in New York City. New York City.
Always have fun
Yeah.
in New York City.
And then the best-
are you gonna tell the Camden story
The Camden story. Which one's that? Like
from New York?
Well,
Your actress friend.
my actress friend. I met this
Mom.
actress friend in Spain, actually. We were in Barcelona and went to a train station. I was reading the train station and some guy comes up to me and goes, "Excuse me, do you speak English?" "Yes, I do." "What does that say?" Told him what he says. This girl comes up to me and goes, "Are you American?" And most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, no, I wish. No, I was Canadian. So we kind of hung out, became friends. She's an actress in LA. And she's one of those like actresses in LA. When I'm an actress in LA, you think, oh, you're a waitress / actress in LA.
Yeah.
But when we got back, we're like, oh my God, she's like in every other commercial.
Every commercial.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like, oh my God, that's Camden.
Swiffer sweep or
Yeah.
Tide, like pillow commercial. Yeah.
And so then we were going to New York, and she would go to she'd work plays in Broadway and stuff like that. And then she's like, hey, I'll be in New York if you guys want to come down.
We went to some birthday
We
party.
went to a birthday party in
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. It was a lot of fun. So
And you're like, you're gonna love her. She's great. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then I meet her. I'm
I was
like, and she was so fun. She was a
Yeah,
sweetheart.
sweetheart.
And I told her about Tom Gazzola's nap shack.
yeah, he's like Tom had an idea to have a nap stations.
Yeah.
So we can go if you're tired during the day,
Yes.
just go rent a nap station, for an hour. And
Yeah.
it was a good idea. You know where they have in Munich Airport? They
Nap
have nap stations. I was like, that's Tom's idea.
I'm not the smartest guy,
Yeah.
but every now and then the universe throws me one.
Like it's a box where you can pay 30 euros to take a nap for 2 hours. And I considered it because I was really tired and I had 5 hours before my next flight.
Do you get curtains?
Yeah,
Is
it's like
it-
That's all. You're going to a pod. You're going to like a little pod.
Display.
no,
No,
right in the middle of
You're
the
like a
airport.
pod.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, the pod has curtains. Yeah, whatever. Like it's a
remember-
nap station, but it could be another type of station.
I remember
as well.
describing it to her, and she's like, I don't think
never
that's going to
actually
work.
thought of
And I was
that.
like, come on.
Yeah, it doesn't say only one person allowed.
Yeah.
I don't know how big the pod was.
I would also be. How do they How do they know when to clean it? Like if I go stay there
I don't know.
and I get out, does it get cleaned right away before it gets
sure.
used again?
Theory, yeah.
It better.
Well, I'd hope so,
Sure.
but I mean,
But I thought it was funny, and I sent you a note.
Yeah.
I think I sent you a picture.
You did.
Hey, there's naps, and I sent Camden a picture. Hey, my buddy. Hey, she's like, oh, they stole his idea.
I could be rich.
Could have been rich with nap station. I don't know how many people. I didn't use it. It was too expensive.
Yeah.
I thought 30 euros. Was,
I would only
could
charge
just
So that's
sleep on-
about 45, 50 bucks
yeah,
Canadian.
I could sleep on the floor here.
$50 for a
comfortably.
nap.
You get a
Depending-
pillow, a blanket, white noise.
Depending on certain things, yeah, that might be worth it.
Yeah.
Depending how tired you were.
Yeah.
Well, Dusty, when we were coming back from Vegas, he went for a massage in one of those chairs, and he fell asleep in the chair. So I remember I walked by, I
Did they
saw
have
him.
to wake him up?
I don't know. I remember I just walked by, I took a picture of him. Because me, him, and Eric were at the bar, and then he said, I'm just going to go for a massage. And then I went to the washroom or something, and I walked by, and I just saw him like passed out with the hat on. And so I took a picture and sent that.
We got a text that says, Belzy's on point today with Broberg, Holloway, Barry Thoughts. We have so many third pairing D, Emerson, Stetcher, Brown. No need for Barry. If he's not on power play, I'm not sure he has much value to us. There you go, Belzy. A little love.
Thank you. Thank you.
Michael says Oilers versus Capitals watch party event of the year.
No, so that's part of like a episode of Show of the Year.
Episode,
Event is more like where we're
out and
interacting
about.
with everyone,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everyone's involved with that.
Is
so
there any other answer than the EST Classic, the golf tournament? Man, that was good.
Nasty Bash was
Nasty
great this
Bash
year.
is pretty up there.
Yeah, it was. But,
Yeah,
man,
Well, we'll see what the votes
that
say.
golf classic was legit.
that was so much fun.
I saw those girls from Boston Pizza. So by the time my group got to those girls at Boston Pizza, we were like 4 or 5 groups. And every single group, this is just like how friendly everybody was at this tournament. Everybody at that tournament who was before us had given them shots or drinks. I saw the same 2 the next day at another tournament. And so I came by like, I don't know, 3 hours into the round, see them, say hi. They're like, yesterday was so much better because nobody even wants to talk to us right now.
Oh man,
Like,
everyone was in
yeah.
a great mood at the
Everybody
golf
was in a
tournament.
fantastic mood. It was a lot of fun. It was good.
That was
It
awesome.
was good. It was hot.
Yeah.
That was the like 34,
That might
35
be the
degree
event
days.
of the, in my opinion.
Good times.
Well, the votes, they'll get starting to get tabulated soon because they'll be sent out. And trophies, I'm waiting for them to
Sounds like a
arrive.
good time so far.
It's
Always a good time when you're among friends.
the EST, September 17th. If you want your ticket, Matt at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, $10 to get in. And we're filling out the Metro Cinema.
You coming?
Am I invited?
No.
More than welcome to come on out.
Yes, you are invited.
It's a Tuesday, and then the after party, Hudson's White Ave, where there's the
September 30th.
the 17th.
17th.
It's the
17th.
official home of the EST after
Isn't that
party.
Penticton Oilers?
No, that's done by the 16th. It is the media golf tournament, so I'll be
It's a media
not
golf
going to the dinner, going to the SDs
That's right.
instead. Yeah,
That's right. That's what it is. The media
yeah.
golf
You can do the same if you want. It's up to you. Whatever.
You're gonna just bring your tux with you to the.
I'm like Batman or Superman. You're always ready. Or
I
Spider-Man.
always have the tux in their trunk.
Tim. He's always got it. It's black tie, formal type night too as well.
Yeah.
If you can. So I don't know how long.
You can have my ticket.
Okay.
He's got baby number 2 on the way.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
That's
awesome.
also, we're planning out Hello Hockey, just a quick thing, depending on the new arrival in the Belsey household. So that's
right.
kind of what we're looking at.
Coming up next is we're finishing up the hangout here. It's the Lock Shop, Huss, Pat Gregoire, Jake. I believe all 3 are on because I think they're getting to NFL Futures today.
Awesome.
And then it is 2 guys in a goalie, with 1 guy in a goalie edition. Cass isn't around, so it's a you engager today on 2 guys in goalie.
All right.
By you, it's Tommy. I'm looking at Tommy for those listening. They'll have it covered, and then a week from today, we will not be going to replay at 1 o'clock. We'll be going to the EST afternoons with Hernan Salas, and the Walking Gate show starts, and then the Reed Wilkins show with Jay Milne. Very close to EST, going 6 to 6 live local programming from Monday through Friday. DVD,
Nice.
Belsey, thanks for coming in. Appreciate
Thanks for
it.
inviting me.
Where's Cass? Is he vacationing in Oklahoma City again?
I don't know. He always texts Dusty, and I don't know what's going on.
What a guy.
So Dusty just said, hey, he's not available. So I was like, oh, okay.
Wicked.
Then I have to pass it along to
Where's
everyone
Dusty
else.
today?
It was a sponsor thing that we were supposed to meet up with.
Okay.
So, yeah, client stuff that I could get into momentarily. DVD, on behalf of DVD, Belsey, Tommy, I'm Matt. Thanks for tuning in to the EST Hangout on your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, Edmonton Sports Talk. Like I said, up next, it is the Lock Shop coming up in a few minutes. Just don't go anywhere.
Let's go.
There you go, right in front of the camera.
First time guest, long time listener, fan of the original draft commissioner.
Welcome to the EST Hangout presented by White Claw Hard Seltzer. The difference is clear. Matt Iwanyk, Tom Gazzola with here. Joining us today,